You want to share one down? Move one down, you got two. Move yours down.
That might be. Thank you.
There, took care of that.
Try to pick the right committee tonight.
So we got the right banner. Very nice.
Too bad you don't like forest fire or something.
Oh, Board of Fireworks? We can play them off too.
Hang on.
It's a little bit of a process to get the live stream together for all our YouTube live viewers. I want to go to that. Just to watch. Yeah.
Maybe play.
You know how I am when I push the button.
It's all yours.
All set? All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Weare Board of Selectmen for January 5th, 2023. We started at 6:30 with some employee non-publics, one with the chief and one with DPW, and that brings us to the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I recognize Police Chief Moore.
Good evening. I'm here to recommend the hiring of Joshua David Berner. He's a Hillsborough native, resides currently in Deering. His wife Cassandra is here with his son Zachary. He just resigned from Loomis to come here, where he was a supervisor. He's also a member of the Army National Guard. He's been there since November of 2021. He's in field artillery. He does have some college credit, but what we're looking to do, we have secured a spot for him in the next academy, which starts February 6th. We would bring him in at 2601, which is a Step 2 officer under the current CBA. He'd advance to a Step 3 upon completion of the academy, and he would be hired with 3 years' experience toward annual vacation accrual, which would start at 120 hours. So with the approval of the Board of Selectmen, we'd like to hire him.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion from a board member.
Well, we've completed the interview process.
Yes, sir. All testing has been completed and passed.
Correct, and I personally am satisfied with the process, so
Yep.
I would gladly make the motion that we hire Officer, excuse me, I need the name one more time.
Berner.
Berner, for a Step 2 position with the Weare Police Department. Do I have a second?
At a rate of 2601.
2601.
With 120 hours of vacation time. Effective.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. 1/6.
1/6/2023.
Yes, sir.
Do I have a second?
You do. Second. Moving second. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Welcome aboard.
Got this form right there. He's gonna swear him in.
All right. Sideways with the camera? Sideways. Yeah, exactly. All right. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Joshua David Berner,
I, Joshua David Weare,
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully, impartially discharge
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and perform all the duties incumbent upon me
and perform all duties incumbent on me
as a full-time police officer,
as a full-time police officer,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
agreeably to the rules and regulations,
the rules and regulations,
the Constitution,
the Constitution,
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Welcome aboard, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Oh, you're going to give me
Okay, work on it. He's not running away yet, don't worry.
Welcome aboard. Yeah, you're welcome.
Good day, man.
They're gonna get signatures before you leave. Thank you. Welcome aboard. Thank you.
Yeah, he needs to sign that too.
Thank you very much. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys want photos? Go ahead. All that build up.
The picture's his son.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The eyes were this big.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You want a photo? Okay. You want a photo with them over here?
You see him?
So we're not-
That's
At the
so cute.
seal? You can do it at the seal, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine, you guys.
You can do it as a
You guys
family if
got
you
time you
want.
want. Yeah, it's fine.
Go right in the middle. You're the man of honor.
Where's the,
Jack, you want to get in there? Here, I'll hold them up first. It's not my first time.
It's not my first time. Real nice, real nice. Oh, he has his own verse.
You're not gonna see it back there. Perfect.
Call him Merce.
Got it?
And chief photo bombing.
You had it, see, I'm the
Yeah, that's awesome.
One where you sit out. You're
thank
welcome.
you
Thank you
guys.
for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You as well.
That was a highlight moment. That was fun. I wish we did that the week before Christmas.
I just can't start it.
I don't know. No idea.
Beth, you sitting back there or up here? Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Flying mouse.
Oh, that's fine. I agree. We'll do it. We're gonna have a little break in the action here. I was wondering if we have anybody that needs to speak to us.
I think they might be observing, but
Are you guys just watching, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he has
Okay.
to observe.
All
Yeah.
right, that's just all I need to know. Thank you.
Merit badge.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Observe away. Don't fall asleep. All right, so we're on to the work on finalizing the 2023 proposed budget.
Did you
couple
bring
of department
copies you
heads here.
got from last
Did you
week?
get your copies of the 28th?
I don't have any copies of it.
Oh,
I gotta find it
look here.
in here somewhere.
Mine up in the mailbox, or?
Probably.
Thank you.
As we all know, the town is on, is this 4 years old now? The default budget?
3 years default.
3 years default. That's 3 years behind in inflation. Our contracts and obligations have not gone down. Those contracts and obligations, the contractors and suppliers, their costs haven't gone down, so our costs have gone up. And yet we're still finding it in the bottom line budget. So, one of the things that I was a proponent of this year, and every year, but more so this year, is really scrutinizing the proposed budget to try and make it more pliable to the town, as best pliable as we can. I know that we are already on a banjo string, and a lot of these adjustments are just to get in line with 2023. But again, it's, what was presented to us the other night is 9.83% increase. Some of that is unavoidable with cost of insurance, et cetera. Some of it this board has entered into. Some of it is, again, just cost. One that sticks out to me in particular, as it was probably our largest jump, was road salt. Everybody wants to have their roads plowed and treated so that they're not slippery. We were paying approximately $56 a ton 3 years ago. Now it's over $70 a ton. It's nothing for us to go through, I mean, what, Jason, 40 tons of storm? 30 to 40 tons of storm?
Pretty close.
So you don't get many storms out of the tonnage. So, again, that was one of the biggest increases right off the top of my head, plus, and fuel.
Just take the storm out of the equation, just tomorrow's little nuisance snow is gonna eat up a
Correct.
bunch too.
You still gotta treat,
Yeah.
you still gotta treat
Already
nuisance
saw 'em
storms. Yeah. So again, it's, and fuel, gotta heat the buildings, gotta keep the wheels rolling on all the department, vehicles. So, just in those two, it's a substantial jump as well. So that's why we're here scrutinizing this as we are. So,
Are we gonna take this line by line? or
I
what-
would say
what
we,
is the plan?
I would say we take it,
Or department by department?
department by department, smaller ones will do, like the first page is definitely department by department. But as we get to the larger ones, like the police department and the highway department, we'll probably go line by line, just because they have multiple lines, that's all. So, town officer salaries, that hasn't changed since I've been here.
Nope.
In 7 years, so I don't see any adjustments on that unless the board does either. So, all right, town officers, for postage, office supplies, IT services is up again. So this entire section's up $20,940. I don't think much can be done about this. Again, we have to have copiers, we have to have IT. Last thing we want to do is get hacked by somebody that doesn't belong in here, so. Again, so, like I said, that's an increase of $20,940 I don't think we can avoid. And I don't know if the board can stop me at any time, but I'm just, again, saying my piece.
Yeah, I got something.
Yep,
Line 9, employee education, we spent nothing in '21, spent $300 last year, and we're budgeting $1,100. I think we could cut that down,
the proposed,
yeah. I'd take 500 right off that, put it down to 6.
okay.
Make it even
that's my-
500. Make it even 500.
Yeah.
Unless, Naomi, is there anything coming up that you know of that's gonna require
Right.
This
us to
funding.
spend that money?
300, I spent it this year.
Yeah, has anyone made,
Especially with the
yeah.
new employees.
Yeah, they made a request.
No, the, Beth's got a course she's taking, I know Romeo's going somewhere, but that's not much.
What's the
Tony,
cost of your
Katie.
course, Beth?
I took it out of 22's budget.
Okay.
It's the 300.
Okay,
Yeah.
so basically, this employee education is everybody in this building.
Everybody in this building, yes.
Can I ask one more question, Ricky?
Does that include certifications? Is that where that line comes out of, if we have to get somebody certified?
Reoccurring
or bonded
certifications or-
Or anything like that?
I mean, it can, for sure.
Is that typically
I
where
mean-
it comes out of?
I mean, we want to keep up to date, and I don't know what's coming down. I mean, the last few years, we've been short-staffed, so they haven't used any,
Right.
nor has anybody been able to get away from here to take a class.
Right, because we're so short-staffed.
So, I mean, taking it away doesn't allow anybody the opportunity to do anything.
That's kind of my thought.
I hear you, but at the same time, we were very short last year.
I guess my question is, with the new employees, is there anything
It's going to be required.
that's required with the new employees that would come out of this line?
Well, I'd like to have, Monique do tax collector. That takes certification.
Okay.
It's in the fall, I don't know exactly when in the cost,
Do
but
you-
that's fall.
Ballpark? Are we talking hundreds or 1,000?
I mean, you're probably talking $500 or more.
Okay,
Right.
And that's only one employee
So-
takes half the line.
okay.
So when we make a hire, at any time, do we offer training as part of that hire? Is this education line discussed as,
Not at the hiring point, but as they proceed through and do their work, there may offer something at the state, or not necessarily at the state, is something that may enhance what they're doing. It may be something that their state and NHMA and Health Trust or somebody rolls out that is going to be very important to us. And without the ability to go and know what it's about, we're just gonna poke around in the dark. You know, it is,
Chief wants to speak to it.
Yeah, I just read a new proposed bill. It hasn't been passed yet, but it's being proposed effective July 1st this year. The state is committing $2 million to enhance the education opportunities of first responders. I don't know if DPW was included in that because I just screened it, but I know that includes police and fire for classes, certifications at local community colleges. So that is coming on the horizon, it looks like. It looks like that has a lot of support.
That's good news, but that doesn't affect the town
Well, you don't
offices
have to
part.
account for us.
Right. Okay. I think with that, with the new employees, I think that's a little light to go down that low.
What about down to 750?
I'd be okay with that. Does the rest of the board feel?
What's he saying?
750? I just, with the new onboarding that we've had, you don't wanna hold them in the dark, that's all.
Kevin?
Yeah, I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, it seems, I don't wanna take a tool that may help Naomi in the future as the town administrator in the hiring process. If someone needs training, that she doesn't have the funds to train them so that they don't get hired in this very small pool of people we have.
Right.
At the same time, I mean, I guess every penny counts, so,
The worst case scenario, we'll find the money somewhere if.
It is bottom line, I mean, again, and I don't expect to fill every vacancy we have in '23.
Be nice, but-
It would be beautiful, but, I don't foresee it, so I think we could still be okay.
with 2022 at 300 to go to 750, I'm fine with that.
Okay. All right, anybody else on the town officers? Okay.
With postage is, I know it keeps going up for, at least in my particular business. I noticed it dropped $500. Are we not mailing out as much, or?
It's the next line down, the
Yeah.
the meter service changed it.
Well, no, it says new lease on machine.
Right. But it's something to
But
do
the
with
So the
postage.
postage and postage meter service are two different lines, that's why I'm questioning it. Postage is the actual stamps and the postage on it. The meter service is the machine and the service, the
The
fees
lease.
associated with that.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so is a $500 reduction in postage accurate?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
confident with that.
I have nothing else.
Okay. I don't think elections is really, that's
How many elections is in?
One.
one,
Just one, okay.
just one. What was tax collector? Which, there is a restructuring plan. Again, that hybrid model employee, coming in. So there's actually a reduction of $42,550 in this line, proposed. I don't foresee us, unless anybody else has anything to say.
it's for a half-time person.
Right, exactly, we're trying to position
Right.
the part-time rather than full-time.
It would be a half-time, because you took the other half-time to have Tony.
Correct,
Right.
Yep.
It was a full-time position.
correct.
Yep.
So, I don't see anything on that one. Anybody else?
No, but it should be noted.
It should be noted, definitely, that,
Yeah.
why the reduction, the massive reduction.
Significant reduction.
Line 49, tax collector mileage, reduction of $100. Mileage by IRS is 56 or 60, I've lost track. It's not a lot of mileage.
Was 58.
Okay. Where is that conference plan? I'm assuming it's one conference.
Sometimes it's in Concord, sometimes North Conway.
Okay.
Okay.
Conway,
Should we keep that at 200 then?
Red Jacket.
Yeah, it's North Conway usually.
Should we keep that at the 200 level then? I mean, $100 ain't gonna get
I
you
mean,
there.
Beth and I went over the numbers, so we're confident in the reduction.
Okay.
In the reductions that you're seeing here, we've hashed over how we're gonna survive.
Okay.
And what you see there is, and I can say that, is I believe we're confident in what we did.
Yeah, no, okay. Anybody else?
No, I'm okay with that line item.
Me too. Move this to assessing. There was the town is obligated to reassess the town every 5 years. We entered into a contract with our, I don't want to call him preferred vendor, but the vendor, how long have we been using Avatar now? Quite a few years.
Yeah.
Quite a few years.
The only one that bid.
And they're the only one that bid on us. So again, there was a contractual obligation increase of $11,220, which the entire department is up $12,610. So that's the lion's share of it, obviously. Does anybody see?
Yeah, no,
anything?
Rick, I only want to just clarify how you presented that. So, there's all kinds of things that happen with Avatar assessing, from people appealing to, but we are not going into, as I understand it, we are not going into a 5-year reassessment this year. Are
They
we?
do, so what they do is they do a fifth of the town so that we
Every
don't have the
year.
huge
Right,
spike.
1 of
Right.
5.
So-
But this spike, or this increase, this contractual increase of $11,220 isn't necessarily part of the fact of this 1/5 assessment is happening. This reflects basically the contract. They came in, bid their year contract, and we're up 11,000, providing the same services they've been providing right along.
Yeah, because typically you'd go along like this and then you'd have a major spike for that year that you do it in.
Right,
And we have opted to stay level
as
and pay
possible.
along the 5 years along the way. So we
Right.
pay the same
Yes,
amount every year.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people, just so they understand, it's services as normal. It's just gonna cost us more for the same services.
Yep.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything else to?
No,
That one?
that one's more or less out of our hands, and I don't see another line number there that jumps off
out?
the page.
No. Legal expenses.
81, labor relations line. Is that in relation to contract negotiations, or
What does that cover, that labor line?
So I call labor relations, if you look at how the other ones are done, is anything to do with an employee issue.
Okay.
Okay.
It can be collective bargaining, which we just did, can be,
So HR related?
it's HR related,
Okay.
because the other two that you have there are planning and zoning.
Right.
So we have to have a labor relations, we can call it whatever you want to call it, but that's where it is.
Yep. And,
And then we do have legal fees for general things that you ask either Laura for typically.
Right. right.
But typically, Mark comes out of labor relations, because that's employee-based.
Okay.
Correct.
And you get a $5,100 reduction in that one proposed? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's a crystal ball's thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a guess, best guess. I remember years of that being 6 digits.
Me too.
It's a $62,000 line. I remember it being
100-something.
hundreds and thousands in labor relations, so.
Good old days.
I think this is, current spent is significantly under that, and I think that's definitely a good thing, to say the least.
Right, so for those that can't see the numbers, 2021 expense was 35,978. 22 is 31,681, a significant reduction,
And that's all of them, planning board, ZBA,
right?
legal fees, et cetera, so.
Line 82.
Yes.
Yes, John?
I'd like to take another 1,000 off of that.
Keep in mind you're headed to court.
Hmm?
Keep in mind you're headed to court in April.
Which is, that's gonna come out
Well,
of.
I understand that,
Okay. Just,
but we only spent $68 last year and 20 6 in 21.
I mean, we reduced it by 6 already total. And we know that court case is coming, and we have a couple of BTLA ones coming. However those pan out,
Right.
just saying. We reduced 6.
What's the board's thoughts on Selectman Osborne's,
I think with the upcoming stuff, I think I'd probably leave it at the proposed,
maybe reevaluate in '24,
potentially.
potentially? Okay.
Yeah, it's, without knowing the magnitude of the case and what appeals are gonna happen.
Right.
And when the court's gonna accept those appeals, what year that's gonna fall under, I have to lean towards,
Leaving it.
keeping the money in the bank, because we don't wanna be scrambling around to figure out how to pay that legal bill at that time, and we already are seeing at least a reasonable reduction in what was proposed at the bottom line. So, no, I'm okay with leaving it. I would agree with you if we didn't have the pending case, that line item needs to stay on our radar. And hopefully we can avoid
We're getting good.
more of these.
No,
It
we're
appears
doing-
that there's
doing well.
less and less of them,
Yep.
Yeah.
so.
All right, if the board's good with that, we'll move on to the finance administrator. $18,000 increase, and approximately 16,000 of that is in pay increase given in 2019 by the Board of Selectmen for retainage. And then $1,500 in support, software support systems. So I don't think there's any flexibility in the few lines that are there,
Agreed.
so.
No, that's a very lean budget.
Yep, very lean, so. Move on to the town clerk's office.
Okay.
I think that that's pretty lean. Again, there's some training lines and seminars in this one too, but again, the new deputy hasn't gone to the trainings yet, so, we gotta be able to cover those. And every other line to me looks pretty good.
Yeah, the clerk's office is a very black and white,
Yep. So,
fixed place operation.
so I have no adjustments there. Does anybody else?
It is purely out of ignorance, and just not being, I guess, the rookie on the block. But the longevity bonus is that, this would be line 102, I'm sorry, guys. Can you explain that to me?
So it's
Yeah,
after
so
how
it's
many
after
years?
10 years.
Yep.
10 years, you get 250, and then 5 years after that, right?
Yep.
Every 5 years after that, you get another 500.
That
So,
applies to elected officials.
I'm sorry, another 250, so you go 500, then you go 750, then you go 1,000, and I think the top one is 1250?
Yeah.
1250 is, if you've been around as long as the woodwork has been, you get 1250.
The woodwork. That was.
I think you're gonna
was
see
set
that in
place by a
my-
board a long
Yeah.
time ago.
You're gonna see that in my line too.
Yeah, no, I've
Because
seen it,
Maureen and I
yeah.
have been here close to
When
the same
when
amount.
When that transfer happened, that was put in place.
I'm not sure I agree with the idea of a longevity bonus for an elected official, but that's a decision made well before me, so.
Yeah, that discussion's been heading around, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So,
Yeah, I just don't, again, thanks. I just wanted to, it was just,
It's part of your personnel policy.
yeah.
okay. Anything else? Selectman's office? Again, there's gonna be some restructuring here, within the town office. Especially with the administrative assistant. So, again, not.
Ricky, could you, I just had the question asked of me, as we talk about restructuring. Could you just define that restructuring a little bit for the public if they are watching?
Yeah, so we had a lot of, we had positions, I don't say a lot, we've always been lean. But we had some positions, that we've decided to, due to staffing, the board and the town administrator have talked, and we're trying a newer, employee of, when we hire to make them a hybrid employee, meaning basically that they will be multifaceted in their abilities. They will not be, one department per se. It will be, there'll be cross-training. The employee will be if, again, and where we are so skeleton crew to begin with, if somebody is out, and I think what really put this to light is, when COVID hit, somebody get COVID, somebody be out, oh, I don't know what they do, cover their spot, the town still has to function. So I think that really put that in the light where we needed to cross-train and have employees that could do multiple things. So with the restructuring, it's taking into account those changes and the hiring of those employees, and what they're gonna be able to do and sharing the load, basically with less employees, but still getting the same tasks done.
And also, in the prior employee in that position did 30 hours in the selectman's office and 10 hours for welfare. And you're gonna find that in the human, I think it's welfare or the human, whatever, what's
Health
it?
officer.
Health officer, we did the same thing. So we kind of carved that out, and the two girls, one took on health and one took on welfare.
Right.
So that we can I can have somebody 40 hours, but she's learning all sorts of tasks.
Right.
So that's the increase, is largely the 10 hours
Correct.
in that budget, where you're also gonna see some other changes down at the welfare and the health part.
Right. We're moving the money around a little bit.
Yeah.
People are
And-
taking on different jobs.
And reducing at the same time. I mean, we're reducing roles, but again, we're still moving money around, so. Seems like everything in the selectman's office is pretty much across the board. I don't know if there's anything else that the board sees that I don't. Okay. Cable committee. It's a pretty lean budget to begin with, and they're even taking some more out of it, so I think we leave it alone. Anybody else got anything to add? No?
No.
Okay. Trustees of the trust funds, zero change. There's some training that needs to occur for them. I just don't think we've had anybody new on that committee for a few years, right?
So what happens, sometimes it says NHMA conference,
Yeah.
that's annually, and a lot of times they offer training for trustees, and,
Yeah.
that's where the one year they went, and there hasn't been, plus there hasn't been any new. A couple of them went to the trainings.
Okay. Brings us to land use. And again, this is part of the restructuring. Some of the money was moved out of this to another department, in the budget. And again, it's reflected as such with reductions for the proposed budget. Is there anybody that would like to comment on this one?
No, just.
The end number is a $102 reduction from,
Exactly.
the proposed is $102 less than, the default. And again, the land use still has to be covered, it's just, again, there's a restructuring. Anybody?
No, this is, just so it's clear to anybody that's watching, this is basically a flat line with a $102 deduction.
Because, I mean, there's still a lot of focus in that department, so that one still gets
So
considerable amount.
it has to carry on.
Right. Government buildings, we had an increase in the custodial services for 2024. We are in the second year of 3, so it has gone up. And then,
Lawn care.
lawn care has gone up significantly. Again, their cost has gone up, so they push it on to their consumer. I'm sure that we've all experienced that when we go to the supermarket.
Fuel alone.
And fuel. So, again, this is a reflection of that.
Yeah.
And also too, all of the town buildings, the fire stations, the safety complex, the DPW, what little they take for heat, but electricity is also comes out of this budgetary item, this department budgetary area. So, some adjustments were made in reductions, some adjustments were made to the plus. Again, this board set we set the fuel and, the diesel fuel and gasoline, but, this is another contract, obviously, because it's propane and heating oil that we've locked into. And who is our supplier?
We didn't lock in, did we?
We haven't locked in anything yet?
Nobody was willing to lock in at the time.
That's right, nobody was willing to lock in, because I'm
It's
surprised.
too up and down.
I'm surprised it's too volatile, go figure.
I have a question on Excel line 212, electric fire radio sites. We are no longer using fire voter sites.
That is incorrect.
No, we're still using them.
We're still using
The fire department's using them?
them. They're combined with the police ones. And the police are still using them. Still got drop power to them.
Okay, then I'd like to see the title of that change then.
'Cause
Because
that's-
that dictates specifically fire, and if PD is gonna be using it, it ought to be reflected properly.
Okay, and that will change. That line will probably go away here within the next few years.
Correct, with the radio.
With the radio,
So if you just remove the word fire,
Correct.
Yeah.
yeah, just
Yes.
put it,
Put radio
just put
sites.
electric radio sites, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because that would then cover police and DPW?
No,
doesn't
DPW's
use
not
it?
in there, no,
Okay.
no. But fire is still currently keeping that active, just in case,
Okay,
so. But again, it's electricity and heat to all the town buildings, including the stone building, which doesn't take a lot, but.
Right. So for the viewers, as Ricky mentioned, there's a $20,000 increase in
The
this
department,
department. $8,090 of that is in lawn care. That is, I don't think many people really understand that number is $67,350 to keep the green spaces of the town owns mowed annually.
fields, yeah.
Ball
yeah, the
fields.
ball fields, the town center,
Yeah.
the safety complex, the fire stations.
You know,
you know.
it's a big part of this
cisterns?
line item.
That's not in this one,
No?
It's on
No.
fire.
Okay.
yep. So, but that does cover quite a
Yeah,
slew of.
quite an array of mowing. It's
Of mowing,
it's
in lawn care. I mean, it's more than just mowing, it's upkeep, it's cleanup, it's,
Yeah,
you know.
And
it's-
$7,100 is heat for the safety complex and
exactly.
the
Keep-
town hall.
Yep, yeah,
Keeping the town presentable.
yeah. Yeah, just the town hall and the safety complex, about $7,200 alone, an increase, so. So I can't see any adjustments in that to speak of. Anybody else see anything?
No, that was foreshadowing for the next one, though.
Correct. So, which brings us to the cemeteries. Town's responsible for maintaining cemeteries. There is a lawn care contract for cemeteries. How many cemeteries do we have?
43?
43? 43. It's nothing I would want to tackle with a weed whacker, that's for sure. And that contract went up $10,000 as well. So,
Yeah, so we're jumping from $34,000 to $44,000, but we're subject to the bidder. The
Right.
bidder, people
That
give
was
us
the
the
contract we
numbers.
agreed to.
correct. We're in the second year of 3.
Yeah, it's a considerable jump in that line item.
And some of these contracts, again, you'll hear 2 of 3. I mean, we as a board, we have to enter into, and take care of them. And, you know, couple of these are 2 to 3 years old, but so isn't our default budget. And so isn't the budget we're working with.
Right.
There's a reduction of $1,500 for cemetery maintenance because there is another fund that's available for maintenance on that. So, tries to help offset that $10,000 increase. So, anybody else, any lines? No? Okay. Insurances, this is up. This covers workman's comp, unemployment, general liability for the town. Workman's comp is up $77,000, almost $78,000 alone. General liability is up $21,485.
Yeah. These are-
It's nothing that I don't think we've done as a town. It's premiums increase.
Yeah, it's industry-wide. This
Yeah.
is something, I don't know if, I'm dealing with it at home, and it's industry-wide. There's been a large percentage increase across the board.
Right.
So this, again, is one of those line items that's more or less out of our hands.
Correct. So, all right, we'll move on to, we'll move on to, where am I? Advertising. That covers our notifications for public hearings, et cetera, in the newspaper and such, and also municipal association dues. We do lean on the municipal association here and there.
Per capita.
It's for recommendations or guidance. There's a whole pool of municipalities that are in there, and everybody can kind of share their experiences, knowledges, et cetera. And as the town administrator said, it's per capita, so it went up $500. But again, there was a $500 reduction in the advertising because newspapers are no longer required to satisfy the 91 notifications. So it's a straight line across. There's no increase in that department. Which brings us to one of the bigger departments, the police department. And Chief Moore is here with us, and again, we're working with a budget that's 3 years old, that
He inherited.
and it's gonna have to move with the times. So there's a lot of increases. Some decreases.
So the question was asked of me. We did some year-end spending. Was that done to fill the shelves? Or was that in addition to, because the year-end spending, we've always used for purchases that come off the next year. So was the intent in part of what you did to reduce here or not? What I'm asking is for 30, so 612 is the first number. Taser equipment, 3,500.
Yep.
So if you look at number, now it's account number 612 at the end. There's still 35, so you used 35.
Right.
I'm
Well,
just asking because it was asked of me.
Yep, well, I think on those two particular lines right there, 612, 613, for taser equipment and taser assembly, the police department put on a nice presentation over there with the difference of equipment, and the newer equipment that's out. No, I'm not even gonna use the term, they're not toys, these are life safety equipment. And the difference between the two models is staggering, in my opinion. And for officer safety, to me, that was a no-brainer, that we should purchase those.
It's also a less lethal option
That's correct.
that our officers
But
can use when appropriate.
But I believe, and the chief can correct me if I'm wrong, and he has multiple times, that moving forward, we still need to replace outdated equipment in these two lines. This is just going to get the stuff that is gonna go out of date in '23, replaced, and then there's still gonna be stuff that's going out of date in '24. These do have a life cycle. They are only insured and warranted, and the chief can speak at any point in time if I'm going out of line here. There's a warranty of 5 years, and if there is I'll call it a misfire of the equipment or a malfunction of the equipment, Taser company actually steps forward and,
$10 million liability policy.
$10 million liability policy, which we don't get once they go out of that 5-year window. So, again, to me, on that aspect, yes, we bought those to come up to current
Standard.
standards. But moving forward, we still need those lines in there.
So maybe a
all
more-
I'm looking at is what was asked.
Yes,
So what's needed for 23 was $3,500.
to replace, and that's what we gave him
And
this
you
year.
gave him 35, and we're gonna add another 35 to the proposed?
To be spent in '24. I mean, we
This
could,
is 23's budget.
I understand that.
Yeah,
So do we, so
if we,
do we need place, yeah,
I
but,
mean, basically, that's $7,000.
Okay.
And he only requested 35, which we
no?
gave him.
Well, no, between the two, oh, yeah, he'd have 7,000, right?
Yeah, because the request was 3,500. I want to be clear to everybody, because those listening and were here. Needed for 23 was $3,500. Accounted for in default was 0. Accounted for and proposed was 35. The difference between the deficit between the proposed and default was 35.
Okay.
You gave him 35.
Yep,
So if the need was 35 and you gave him 35.
612 should come down to 0.
I wouldn't say 0. What is it to purchase one, chief?
Almost $2,000 for one
Okay.
taser.
Should we reduce
That's
it?
without the cartridges or the batteries. That's just the taser.
But this is for batteries and cartridges, it says.
Right, two different lines.
Yeah, this is the batteries
So
and
this is the
cartridges line.
batteries and cartridges that you,
batteries.
that you filled, I don't want to say fill the shelf, but
Chief, can you just mind stepping up there?
Yeah,
Just
no, not at
just for the mic.
I just, people have asked.
I understand,
Yeah.
now I'm fully aware, but again, I don't,
So we have 3 tasers expiring this year. For those not aware, we lost one officer who went, we were fully staffed last year. We lost one officer who went from full-time to part-time. We lost one officer in Manchester within the last few weeks. We are losing another officer who notified us he'll be gone mid-March. And we just were notified today, we have another supervisor who is leaving for the Merrimack County Sheriff's Office. It is imperative that a budget passes and that equipment be provided for the department. If you start taking away tasers and body-worn cameras, nobody will be left.
I don't think we were looking to take it away.
Right.
we were looking to take it away, it's
What I
just-
was-
What we were
the-
looking at was
yeah,
what was
the
proposed in
philosophy-
23.
Yep, the philosophy
And the-
was to guarantee that we have money available for tasers.
And we purchased ordered it.
Yes.
At the year end.
Yes,
so 23, you're getting them.
yes.
So the question is, we're making sure you have the tasers by approving the year-end spend.
Right,
Correct.
which is what we did.
That is the guarantee.
Yes, because we know we have 3 expiring
Correct. And
summer.
and those are
And you wrote that
covered.
there.
Right, those are covered.
So
Correct.
what Naomi is asking is the 3,500 that's shown in the budget, we can pull that away because we've guaranteed you that 3,500 through the
For
year.
23,
You could.
For the year-end
yes,
buy.
for 23.
Yes.
I would,
Just to even the books, the same thing falls, I mean, I'm gonna just use another approval, which is, I think, a little easier to digest or for people to understand. There's an annual budget of $3,000 for ammo, for certifications, practice, or some,
Yeah, it's higher than that, but yeah, I pull from multiple lines because ammo's gone crazy.
okay. Well, this is good then. This is good,
Yeah.
if you're having to pull from multiple lines. I believe, and this is from memory, because I apologize, I haven't sorted through the paper to pull out that last document. I believe we approved the $1,500 guarantee.
Correct. So yeah, that was a little misread, and I wasn't gonna go too much in the weeds, just because so pretty much I know I'm gonna have vacancies. Everybody always says, the department head will find the money. Well, where we find the money from is vacancies. I know I'm gonna have vacancies, so I'm gonna have a budget for expenses such as this if I need it. So I can always approach you later. You can pull those requests really based on what has
Based on what
changed.
what you asked for, it said the need was 23, was 35.
Correct.
And then it's not there, so we gave 35.
Yeah, so you had that bottom line, 610,
Yeah.
that was purely for frangible ammunition, because I was hoping to have my 2 vacancies filled with 2 people going to the academy. Frangible ammunition has gone up, so that was specifically for that. The offset you were talking about is what we saw in our regular budget. We spent $4,000 one year, and just last year it went up to $5,500, and I pulled from a couple lines just to get that $5,500 together. So,
Okay,
so I guess my thought, and
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not this is a creation of two lines. If this was to pass,
There's three.
well, yeah, but for this, there's nothing in the 2021, 22, or the 22 and 2022 approved budget. So this was an addition to,
Yes.
these are
The
additional two
normal-
lines.
Yes.
So my thought would be to decrease them to $100 each, the 612 and the 613. You would create the lines and create a placeholder. Is that
I'm gonna defer to finance.
Is that viable? If you decrease 612 and 613, it creates the lines that he
Yep,
needs
you
to
can put a
have.
dollar in it.
But if you put, or $1, I said 100, but if you put $1 in, it creates the lines and it creates placeholders.
Yes.
Yes.
And he can overspend that line.
Correct.
With the
Yeah,
dollar
and
in
So
it.
then you could actually see a reflection of what is being spent per year in that.
I got it.
It doesn't eliminate them with a zero, but it puts placeholders.
Yes, you all have taken care of the immediate needs, so it can go down to a dollar.
Okay.
That's fine.
In both cases?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good.
So
Yeah,
612
I
and
think that-
613 will go down to $1.
That is clarity.
And if something comes up, I can reapproach the board for the immediate need, because I know I'll have it in my budget for the
Right.
expense
Right.
from the vacancies.
And so while you're up there,
Yes,
can I,
ma'am.
can I continue?
Yep.
Sure.
So, same thing, kind of a theme we followed after, was the body worn camera. Your increase, we covered you for 4968. So line, sorry, my bifocals are messing up.
617.
So
615 would be 1818.
that's the weird one. So it's those two combined, the actual, and I just got the invoice, it's actually 7,000, so it actually went up a little bit. Beth and I have talked about this. This is that weird billing cycle where we actually think we're a year behind because they bill us in November. Typically, I don't pay because I don't have a line in my account that's approved to pay it, even though it's been under contract for probably a decade now. It's never been approved. I pulled that 1818 from somewhere else. And it's actually it's for the software and the storage of our data from the body worn cameras through Axon.
In this right here, this particular one, what we approved as a board was only the offset of the default budget.
Correct.
So exactly, so the line's there, the money's not gonna change as far as what the amount, well, you're proposing a different amount.
Correct. So currently I have an invoice for 7,200 and something in change, which I'll be able to pay currently with what you approved the other day. I'm gonna get another invoice, this November, I believe, correct? I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
We
it's a
have to look
weird
into
billing
that, because I
cycle.
think we're actually paying 23s in November. I think we're paying ahead of the beginning.
we're ahead of year, have a
Possibly.
behind a
He
year?
thinks
Yeah.
we're behind, I think we're ahead.
There's something, because
But
they
there's
don't
an
put
off.
the dates on there.
There's an off somewhere.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So then the 4968 is going to stay.
Correct.
4968 is gonna stay, absolutely. We only approved the 1818 to make the offset.
No,
to-
you approved
1818 is default.
4968. You approved
sorry, yes.
$4,968.
Yes, excuse me, yes. Because that was the difference.
Right.
So yeah, the 4968, I
Well,
would think. for this-
technically, you could take it. I'd
Oh.
need roughly 500 to cover the difference between the actual invoice I got and what's
Okay,
there.
so if we drop it by,
7,200 is what I need total.
okay.
I don't
All
have
right.
my phone over there.
So yeah, so we funded almost 5,000 of it, so we could drop that by 30,
I'm off by a couple $100.
so we could drop that by $4,300 and be safe, probably.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
And then following again, 617, what was needed for the 3 cameras, the docking bay?
And we gave that.
We gave that, so
Drop that
that
to
could be
$1.
$1.
Yes, because I got extra vacancies. I don't need all the.
Well, the
body
other thing
worn
is too, is
cameras.
it's a placeholder for a new line.
Yep.
And then that way there we can also track it.
Yep.
That's my bigger picture is the tracking.
Yep, it's no problem.
If you don't have a line to put it to, you can't track it properly
Yep.
for budgetaries in years to the
Yep.
future.
Ballistic equipment was the other one we did, 738, but we kind of lumped all that together. 738, you lumped all together.
Yeah.
You gave
Yes,
27,
I broke it up into 3 lines.
3,000 and 11, 25.
So one of those vests was for Sergeant McGuire. He was due for a new one. Obviously, we don't need that anymore, so that reduces about $1,500 right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
You approved what I needed,
Right?
So really, I mean, if you want to
Put it back to the,
default,
okay.
So go to 1760,
yeah, I'm fine with 1760.
because we gave you,
Yeah, we did the helmets.
Yep, you did it, you did everything up front.
Vest, yeah.
so he's gonna go 1760. Okay. And then the ammunition wasn't optional, was 610 was, we talked about it earlier, was the 15.
Yeah, it was just the wrong reference. That was purely for frangible ammunition. We're sending one to the academy. Ryan's waiting for the quote for that, because we have to provide, I believe it's 1,000 rounds.
Okay.
And that's just for the one. Obviously, with more vacancies, we're gonna go as fast as we can to find some people and.
But I don't think that line's gonna change though, that 610 line. It's still gonna be 8,000 across the board. That 610 line. It's
No, wrong page.
Spreadsheet 268.
Yep.
That makes sense?
Yeah, no, that should be good there.
Okay.
So Rick, on 615, you wanted to take off 43, so that proposed is gonna be 2486, that's all right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Put those. Okay.
Next page. All right, so now we've gone down through some of that.
So,
Fuel is where
I gotta
you,
back up 1 second.
Yep,
Sorry about that. But on police fuel,
where is this?
7 of 14.
yeah,
Huh?
Page 7 of 14, number 280.
Okay, spreadsheet line 280, yep.
yeah, sorry.
It's gasoline.
Yeah, that's the gasoline.
Yep.
We draw the gasoline at DPW.
Correct.
And we track that,
Got those, yeah?
Correct.
yeah.
Mhm.
And the proposed number is based on what we agreed on a per gallon.
Correct.
Okay. Before we're all done, all of those line items, I just want to talk about that number we forecasted at. I just want to have a conversation whether or not everybody's still comfortable with that number now that we're stepping into 2023. There's a lot more information out there as far as, is that something we do? Can we back that number, or are you comfortable leaving that where we were?
I think we should leave it where it is.
I don't think we've ever reevaluated it.
Okay.
I think that,
I think there's too much uncertainty in the world, especially going on in the, in another part of the world, that makes everything still too volatile, and I wouldn't be comfortable addressing that at this point.
Okay.
Correct.
It's
I
just,
wouldn't either, yeah.
just everything changes as, once we go into this new year. If you, what we were looking at 30 days ago is
I
completely different.
really hope it drops.
I hope it drops too, and again.
Diesel's dropped.
Diesel has gone down, but there's nothing saying it ain't gonna turn in a week.
No, it's under 5 at the pump.
Yeah,
And we
well,
get it less, probably 50
Depends
cents.
on what pump you go to.
Yeah.
Oh, in
It's
the
only,
north, in
it's
the
only,
north country,
it's
it's
only,
over 5.
again, reading, you know,
Forecast.
commodity future forecasts by firms that this is what they do, so that the big companies can manage their budgets again, you know, there's, it's, so, those are the numbers that I'm looking at, and they are lower than our forecasts, so hopefully that will ensure we have adequate amount. But it should be noted.
All right, anybody else? Any other lines real quick?
No, not in police at all.
I am gonna ask Chief, 279, spreadsheet 279, line 625. 2 years, it hasn't gone above half of that.
No, and that'll continue to go down because we're going to e-ticket.
Can we drop 200 off of that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I say drop 300, just cut it right in half. He has never exceeded the $300 mark.
Well, the other thing is, you just said it's gonna go down with the e-ticket too, so.
Yeah, so let's drop it down to make it $300 even on the proposed.
Chief's okay with that? I'm okay with that. Okay.
Now, the question, I guess, would be, so we are pitching a budget, and if we put proposed lines down to $1, then where am I at next year? Because now
If it
I'm,
passes, it's at $1.
So then next year,
20
I'm back to being screwed.
If at 2020, no, hold on, so 2023, it'll be $1.
Right?
We get a default budget in '24, it will be $1. If we get a pass proposed in 2024, it'll go to the number that you put in there.
But what if I get a pass this year?
It's a dollar.
It's $1.
If you change it
So
to
the-
$1, then it would stay $1.
That's what we were just talking about.
Yeah, so,
Well,
I mean, that does no
But my
good.
thing, well, hold on, no, you got it. No, because you got.
Right, I got it. I'd rather leave it in the budget and take the chance if the budget fails.
But we already did it.
But we already did it.
We
That's
already
what we
paid
were
for
just
what
talking
you
about
wanted in
here.
23.
Is we got you as the securement in '23.
Right, well,
We can go down that road in '24.
the problem is, we've been kicking this can down the road for over 10 years, right? We put tasers and body-worn cameras on the contract, and we've never got it in a proposed budget. I'd rather try to get it in a proposed budget, give back all those end-of-year funds that you've approved, and do without, and if it fails, it fails. I'm gonna have it in my salary line.
That's not how we've done it in past practice.
I get it, but you gotta do
And
it
what
some
I'm
kind of
saying
way.
is if we put it forward and say we're gonna purchase order it, we order it.
I haven't
not-
ordered it yet. I haven't even got a quote for it.
Well, no, the numbers that you supplied
Right.
for that body, for the tasers and stuff like that.
Sure.
That's the number that we put forward for you to purchase, to secure those.
No, I get it.
But to put that, to use that as a security net was not the intention.
Okay.
I'm just stating, that's.
That was my intention, because I have department needs, and if the needs aren't fulfilled, everybody's leaving.
But we fulfilled those needs.
Right, but also I need a passed budget. So my time, percentage-wise, budget-wise, should be about 10% of my year. Estimated is probably 40% of my year. That's a liability to the town, because I should be spending my time on policy, on procedure, on general orders to ensure if somebody does something wrong, the town's covered. I don't get the time to do that between the personnel issues, which is probably the other 40% of my time, and the budget. The budget is a crazy amount of my time. We need my true expenses in a proposed budget and it get passed so I can go back to 10%, because my budget is transparent. Anybody can see it online. I put it out there every year. That's what it costs to run the department. That's what I would like to get passed, so I can move on to things that would actually stop this town from getting sued for that potential to go down. It's all risk management.
And we don't disagree with that as a
Right.
board. But what we need is a budget to pass to begin with.
Right.
And I mean, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all, but again, we are still trying to move a 3 or 4 year budget. We need to be as slim as, that hasn't
Oh, I
passed
get
in
it,
3
but
years.
it's not a transparent budget because my true expenses aren't revealed on the proposed budget. We paid for them
And
on
I-
the end of year budget,
and
but
I
it's not
understand
what
that.
it really takes to run the department.
And I understand that, but we're running the department. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're correct in saying that.
Okay.
But then we're gonna, at the end of this year, we're gonna take up the same disproportionate amount of my time to go through end of year purchases again, because it's still not gonna be in a proposed budget, which passes the vote.
Not disagreeing with that.
Okay.
But it's theoretically, with the money that we purchase ordered, that we as a board
Correct.
intended to spend, it doubles that line.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Which is what we don't want to do.
Okay.
That's what we want to avoid, is that.
Yeah, which is why.
That doubling of the line.
In my statement, if the budget passed, I had no intent to spend what you approved. It just goes back to the taxpayers,
Well,
which I think I've shown over the late years I've been here. I give money back every year.
we're not disputing that. We're not disputing that, board, that you give money back since you've been here.
Right. Significant.
A lot of that rolls back to staffing.
Right.
Right.
Oh, all of it rolls back to staffing.
Correct.
And my operational budget has always been underfunded.
And we don't disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we need to make something that's pliable. And that's why I said too is I think that a $1 placeholder, now you can, like the finance administrator said, you can overspend that line. Obviously, first day, you're gonna overspend it.
I don't overspend lines. So one of the reasons I can get fired per RSA is financial reasons. I will not overspend lines, if I can help it.
Well,
I'm just letting you know. It won't happen. I can show you the RSA. That's one of the few things that can get a police chief. Financial incompetence.
well, I wouldn't call you incompetent if that.
Well,
if
I
that-
would if I was overspending lines.
If that 294 is under, then you've met.
Okay, I mean, if y'all are happy with that, you said it in public.
As long as, to me, I think that's what we've always said.
Well, I can,
is-
overall balanced budget, yeah.
Correct, and
Okay,
that's,
yeah.
and that's what I'm saying.
No, we're fine.
But if you, all right, then if you deem them, we'll say, if you're gonna buy TASER equipment and that line passes even as $1, and you write it as 612.
Yep.
Okay, then it reflects, and you can say at the end of the year, hey, this is what I actually spent on TASER equipment.
Exactly, but that's
Yeah.
a line item.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you that
Yeah.
right now because I set up everything on life cycle management for a zero-based budget,
Right, which, again, that's.
which we approved.
We approved, and I think that's a very.
Okay.
I think that's a very responsible move on your behalf, absolutely. But you can say, this is actual dollars and cents of what I spent in my department here.
Right.
In our department.
Which is currently my proposed. Just saying.
Somewhat,
But I see what you're saying. I'm with you.
yeah,
I'm not, I don't disagree with it.
okay.
I'm just-
I mean, as a board, am I talking?
No, I would just like to,
No,
Good.
yeah.
No,
I would just like to get to the end point of the budget, one pass with my true expenses, which are transparent.
Amen.
And I can move on to
Yes,
higher
please.
priority risk management items.
Yes, please,
Yes, thank you.
absolutely. I think the board and everybody in this room could agree with that,
Okay.
so,
Well, then hopefully we pass budgets 2 years in a row.
right. Because,
Would be nice.
because at that second year, you would have a.
Yeah, I see what you're doing.
You would have a true reflection at that point, 100% of what your budgetary needs is operationally,
Okay, I got you.
with a full staff complement.
I'll see. Doing our best.
That's right.
All right, you done with me?
Are we done with the chief?
yes.
Okay. You
For now.
can limp back, you can limp back to your chair. Yeah. Thanks, chief.
Yes, sir.
All right, emergency management, currently no changes. There's no charge for the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center. So I think we're safe on that line. I guess before we get too carried away, what did that reduce the police budget, difference to with those changes?
You cut $26,162 out of his budget.
Okay, so that brings that, what was that number again?
You cut $26,162.
Which is almost what you purchase ordered.
Right. Yep.
His proposed budget is going to be $1,821,745.
Or a $67,173 difference.
Gotcha.
Okay. Thank you. All right, emergency management, I don't see any changes. Unless anybody else does. No. Fire department,
Default and propose the same.
default and propose the same. Board of Fire Wards moved some money around, considerable amount of money around, for part-time in the call force line, and, again, I think they did a very fine job, keeping it literally within $1.
I go with Kevin, diesel fuel.
Whoa,
We put it up at
are we on fire department
$7.50.
still?
Yeah, I'm on fire department, but diesel fuel, we put diesel at $7.50. I think we can knock that down a little.
You want to leave unleaded at $4.50 though?
Yes.
It-
Gas would stay, I would stay that at $4.50. Diesel, I think you could take at least 50 cents, if not $1 right off that.
So, the experts, the people that are making the predictions to the Fortune 500 companies in our country are putting retail diesel at an average of $4.99 next year. That's the benchmark that they're going by. That they're saying that we're gonna actually see, we won't see the highs that we saw this year. I know we I'm at $6. That was what I was going to suggest if in fact we wanted to move from the 7, still leaving us what would be a healthy cushion from the forecast.
I think 6 is too low, way
Okay.
too low.
We were at 750?
Right, I was not, when this board discussed that, I was not at 750. I think I was at 7 even then. Sounds like the discussion's occurring, so,
'Cause if we dropped 50 cents a gallon
that'd be $1,750 just in that department.
between the fire department, highway, and transfer station, we'd save just under $20,000.
Well, we wouldn't save it, but we would cut it out of the
We'd cut
budget.
it out of that proposed number. We'd cut almost 20,000 out of the proposed number.
Yes.
Okay. I would feel safe with 50 cents. I would not feel safe dropping any lower than that. And I think you've already spoken, Selectman Van, that you're
Yeah.
still at 750. Okay. So, I don't, what is,
I mean, I can't disagree that there's so many unknowns out there that, you know, we need a healthy cushion, and I'm fine with having a healthy cushion in that, because it is a very volatile market, as John stated. Again, just because things change as the first of the year, and the people that weren't talking are now talking, so I just did my due diligence and
yeah,
checked 4 reliable sources, and that's where they're at. We'll see what happens at the end of the day, right?
right. So is that, I guess, is that a motion?
I'll make a motion, we drop it down to 7, all diesel fuel.
Is there a second?
Well, you said you were in agreement. Are you in agreement?
Yeah, I'm just asking if there's a second.
Okay, sure, I'll second it.
All right, there's a motion on the table to reduce the estimated diesel cost from $7.50 to $7 across all departments in the budget. Moved and seconded, call for vote, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes, opposed?
No.
3 yes, 1 no, passes.
I hope I'm wrong.
I hope we're all wrong.
Yeah, so, yeah.
All right, so that reduces that, and obviously Beth has got some
Yep.
calculating to do, so, and she's already on it.
For that budget, you reduced it by $1,750.
Right, well, we haven't looked at anything else yet, but that's that one line.
Just that one, just for fire.
Yeah. But I think fire has done a fine job with what they, did. So, 358A, just for clarification, there is an additional line there. And this is in my passive conversation with the, acting chief. When we moved to capital area,
Oh, yeah.
with the articles, how they were written, the way that Chief Vazina had structured it, and the moving around of budgets, it eliminated all radio maintenance that we had, which some of it rolls back to capital area with what they do, but literally, we couldn't even change batteries in the portables. So that's where that rolls back to, that 5,000 is mostly consumable equipment, batteries, maybe buy a portable or whatever throughout the year, which also would roll to 358 fire equipment. At 3,600, that would purchase the radio, et cetera. So that's why there's a new line there. Radio maintenance, propane, batteries, et cetera.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think the chief spoke to that
yep,
a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
so, that might have been CIP, I don't think it was this board.
Yeah, maybe it was, yeah.
CIP, excuse me, Finance Committee,
Yes, exactly, that's where I heard it.
excuse me. So, all right, anything else on the fire department? Okay, we'll move to code enforcement. And again, and this is part of that restructuring, code enforcement kind of got zoned in on as a the one that we had to keep and et cetera. So this one is up by $41,000. Gas is up $1,000. Payroll, for wages and, for the building assistants, up $21,212, but again, that's more of a move from another department over. Anything in this one? Any other lines?
379, mileage reimbursement. We've got 200 in there. Last year we spent nothing. Year before we spent 76. I dropped that down to 100.
Why do we need mileage reimbursement when we just bought a truck?
That would be my question.
Well, that's if Katie has to go to training, he has to do inspections, what are we gonna do?
Okay.
Because Katie does go to some trainings.
Okay.
So I'd be okay with 100 if the rest of the board is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Postage, 384. I'd take 50 off of that one. We spent 104 and 21, $5 last year.
Why so low, do we know?
It's still lumped in.
Could be where you code it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You could code it anywhere. We've got a code for every department, so somebody may have coded it to planning or zoning or,
okay.
Wendy used to probably just code it towards assessing.
yeah, so when Wendy was doing, I bet it all went to assessing.
Okay. So if we reduce that by, would you say 50?
I'd take 50 off.
Okay. I think we'd be safe. Okay. Anything else?
387. You got 350 for books and updates. We're lucky to spend 164.
I would feel safe with leaving it at 350 because you don't know what's gonna change. If there's a change year, you may have to buy all the new documents. So,
Good? Yep.
Yeah, you get caught short, John.
You get caught
Yeah,
short
we'd
there,
have to
so I
ask
would
that,
vote.
we'd have to ask that question of the code enforcement officer.
Well, I think there's also a proposal in the zoning amendments to the 2018 building codes, so you don't have to buy those books. 'Cause right now we're in 2015,
okay.
so,
Yeah, and he wanted the NFPA's.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, so there you go. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, move on. Forest fires, Smoky Bear. There was a stipend approved, for the acting fire chief now, at the time he was the deputy chief, for, management of that system. It's all online based now, for the most part, so there's, record keeping, et cetera, that goes along with that. So, it used to be it was all in paper, you mail it in and everything was good. Now it's changed, with technology, of course, so. I don't see any changes in there. Anything? No? Okay. Goes to the highway department.
Line 419, advertising. You took 150 away from it. I would add that 150 back in. So, we're gonna be advertising for drivers.
I'd be okay with that.
I think we use NHMA and we use the free websites.
Yeah, we tried
How long,
newspaper just recently with the part-time and full-time and
Nothing.
but what,
Nobody reads papers anymore. That's
yeah,
the
like I say, so I'm thinking that $100, $150 on top of that, we can get on maybe a site like Indeed. Something that people
You
actually
ever
look
been
at.
to Indeed?
They suck.
Well, or something similar to that, NH Job Works, something like that.
Okay.
trying to figure out where truck drivers look for jobs.
And what-
I'd ask truck drivers.
I are one of those, so,
Yeah.
huh?
You hired one recently, is that what you said?
I are one of
He is
those.
one of
Oh,
those.
thought you hired some, like, can we
Oh.
steal them?
I mean, I just hired a technician.
So you were thinking of going back to 500?
I think so, yeah. Because there's subscription costs, if, any online platform's gonna have subscription costs, whether it's Indeed or NH Works or something like that, so.
The diesel fuel's there.
So, yeah, we're gonna adjust the fuel line, right?
Yeah, so the new, proposed fuel line is gonna be $247,250. But it's still
I'd like to
increase.
talk about Excel line 448.
We're on fuel right now.
Hang
at the
on.
moment.
Oh, we're still on
Gi-
fuel?
yeah, give us 30 seconds.
So the line increases by 155,750.
Okay, that's substantial. It's already trimmed up.
I got, line 433.
Hold on.
Okay, you ain't got there yet?
No,
Oh,
John
no,
had
John,
something.
I just tabled John for a second. He
Okay.
was before you. Go ahead, John.
448 roadside mowing. At the end, it says no need to rent any longer. Is that still the case with that Ford tractor that's DOA?
No, this has not been updated since then, and I have.
No, no problem.
No, this hasn't been updated, I guess since Benji did it, but, I do have, a little presentation for you guys on that. I didn't bring it tonight.
Okay.
I knew we were kinda busy.
Okay. So you have a plan?
I have a plan, but we gotta keep this line up in order to
Achieve it?
achieve what we're
Okay.
gonna do.
All right, so
I'm gonna propose we increase, or bring that back up to 12,000.
I would agree. With the current state of our mower.
Correct.
Okay.
Quick question, if this is a repair, would it go under maintenance and repair? A vehicle and
Yes.
equipment? Should we add the 11,000 into vehicle maintenance and
Well,
equipment?
no, I'm thinking, if we actually have to rent something, because.
Yeah, if we have to lease a piece of machinery.
What's the issue with the tractor?
Motor's worn out.
Motor's junk, right? If you can't get another one, then we're gonna have to rent a machine for the
Okay,
roadside mowing.
so the
I-
12,000's for renting? Okay.
Yeah, I don't, it's not a matter of getting one, it's not worth
Yep.
putting the money into that machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what Jason wants to do, and just to make sure this is, he understands this correctly, is we're gonna bump this to $12,000, maintain this line item
Just maintain the item.
so that the money is there to help meet whatever proposal he's bringing
Yeah, right
forward
back to
to
the
us.
default.
Okay,
It's going back to the default number, which is 12,000.
Yeah.
Because
Which is what we've been doing.
which
Yeah,
you're
very well.
you're not saying that this line item is specific to renting a machine for roadside mowing, which we used to do.
To accomplish the task.
Yes, and it's not your intention, but you want to carry this money in your budget for a potential use
Yep.
for a proposal you're going to bring forward.
Yep.
Does that all make
Yep,
sense?
I wanna keep that there for our just in case,
Okay,
So
essentially.
at this point, probably let the cat out of the bag, whatever your plan is.
Well, I went and got some quotes for some tractors
Okay.
that will run
That machine.
our
Yep.
mower. And I wanted to bring it forward to you guys and
Okay.
see what your opinions are on it and how you want it to go about.
Do you have an approximate cost?
60.
Okay. All right.
I think that'll be tabled till another discussion.
I think so too. I just wanted to, just
No,
for
I-
clarification, what we're
yeah, I
trying to do
figured
here, that's all.
We were gonna be kinda
Yeah.
busy here
Yeah.
tonight.
Definitely wanna see the proposal for that.
Yep. Which I think that maybe we hinge 448 on that.
No, I still say leave it up there, because if we
Well-
can't, if we elect not to go forward with that, we still gonna have to rent something, because we still gotta do roadside mowing regardless.
And I think, something I just thought about too is probably it wouldn't hurt, even if we get something rolling that's town-owned, we missed a year. So rent a machine to make up the difference. Two machines in tandem. You follow me? Have our machine working, if we decide to move forward with his proposal, and rent a machine in '23, because we are now a year behind our mowing.
I
So
think the
you-
reduction you just had in the vehicle fuel line, the diesel line, is gonna help offset bringing this back up, so.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying though is if we would have two machines mowing next year.
Yep.
For whatever $12,000 will get
Potentially.
us, potentially.
yeah, I don't want to drop this line item.
No, I don't wanna drop it either.
Because we need
mowing.
until we see the formal proposal and understand what he's proposing,
Mm-hmm.
I can't really weigh in on that, but we definitely need to catch up on roadside mowing.
Correct, that's what I'm saying.
We can't eliminate it,
No, and it wasn't looking to be eliminated, it was just gonna be dropped significantly.
yeah.
But-
So,
but I don't think it should
To
be.
a point that we won't be able to do the roadside
Correct,
mowing.
yeah, you couldn't even rent it for a day at that point.
Right.
So, right.
So I think the proposal was to move it from 11 to 12.
From 1,000 to 12.
Oh, right, bring
Right.
it back up to full.
Bring it back up to
Sorry.
full default amount.
Because there's too many signs I've seen this past summer that are covered.
What signs?
Yeah, exactly. Because we
They
couldn't,
don't,
we
they
couldn't
don't
get
see them
that.
in the middle of the road anyway.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly.
It's very true. And if they do, they just move them. What? Anyways, okay. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Line 433, which is tires and chains,
Oh, my.
spent 13.5 and 21, 10.3 last year. You're asking for 20.
They've gone up
Can we take
substantially.
5 out of that?
No. I would not be in favor of that at all.
They've gone up a lot.
My tires have gone up probably 50%.
Okay, I just
No, I'm
ask you.
yeah,
So
no.
tires are gone up because the byproduct of petroleum,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
Is driving it,
And
yeah.
what we haven't bought, we'll have to buy this year.
Yeah.
What we haven't bought for 2 years, we'll have to buy this year.
I would almost think that
Okay.
if he were to put an order in, well, yeah, if he would put an order in, it'd be way over that.
Okay.
You'd be waiting to.
We have a significant deficiency in tire chains as well, so.
Yeah. Just for an example, the employer I work, John, trailer tires. I got 20 of them, and it was almost $7,000. So, yeah. And that's just a trailer tire with a straight ahead tread. That's nothing special
Yeah, I
with a
know,
drive tire,
yeah.
so, yeah. Again, that's a primed wheel, but still. Anybody else down the line?
No.
We don't have a guardrail line. A lot of our guardrail, if you look around town, is in pretty sad shape. I know that the former director had always wanted to put,
Why don't we have a guardrail line 439?
we do, but it's not there yet.
Never been
That's a
funded.
It's
new
never,
proposed.
it's a new proposed
It's a
line.
new line.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so, that's a new proposed line, that's what I'm saying, and that's a start. That's not even close to covering what we need. It's a start to start fixing some of what we have.
Yeah, and it's contracted out,
Yeah.
or it has been in the past. and
Slitter comes down, does it?
We have to pick and choose what
Yeah.
needs to get done so we can kind
Right.
Highway
of stay in
steel.
line.
Yeah, yep, so. 438, the one-time purchase. We did make a substantial grab at that, I think. I was actually talking to the tool guy. He said a lot of it's come in. Jason and I had a conversation this afternoon. He says some of it's come in. Is that number still applicable?
Yeah, you're gonna be pretty decently set up,
Okay.
for all the maintenance that we do, really.
With that number?
Yeah,
Okay.
I took an inventory, I guess, of all the stuff that I use on a daily basis and
Can't put a number, loose
came
number
up with
together?
that. Yeah.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure. What we're referencing is the significant lack of town-owned tooling and equipment just for maintaining the trucks
Yep.
and equipment, so. All right, everything else? I mean, you know, the salt line, 446, looks low, but again, that could change within a week's time, so. Anything else? Anybody?
No, just a question on the salt. Beth, we're 78 a ton, I think, in that last purchase you made last week.
Yep.
And you're comfortable that number will be able to, for our next round, we have another round coming, don't we?
We purchase ordered some money.
We purchased, ordered,
400 tons for
400
like
tons
30-something
last
thousand dollars,
Yeah.
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 At that price,
Yeah.
78. Yep,
But figure that number that's represented there is 3,000 ton, which was what we used in years past. It's just reflecting the new number of what it actually costs.
yep.
$78,000 increase. So. All right, anything else? Very good. Street lighting went down. Did we turn the switch off? Is that how that went down, or?
No, it's just been overfunded.
Oh,
Default
okay.
number.
We'll take
I
it.
think we haven't had an approved budget since the light went out here
Oh,
in
okay.
the front here.
So we turned one off then?
No,
Oh.
no, you had a street light out here at the intersection,
Yeah.
and since, I don't know how long it's been out, it's been gone.
So we turned one off.
Well, and I think the one in Riverdale's out too, those are the only two that we had,
Okay,
so we're probably paying a minimum,
yeah, okay.
just saying.
To the transfer station. This is up, again, this is one of the ones we entered into, we have to, by law, remove our waste. And the contractor that we've used has been very good to us, as far as working with us, moving stuff, supplying trailers when we needed it. But that vendor's costs go up, so, a lot of this reflection is with that, hauling fees, which I think it will caveat into another discussion for another year of, us moving our own material. Purchasing a tractor, purchasing a trailer, or if we have to, I don't know if the scrap metal is our can. I don't believe it's our can, and I
I
think,
think we own all our cans.
but that trailer is not.
Trailer belongs to Sizemore.
Okay, so, again, there'd be a little bit of a little bit of commitment, but, we're talking a substantial amount of money in hauling fees. And no fault of the vendor, they've, again, been very good to us. But it costs a lot of money to move stuff, so. So I don't see, unless anybody else sees a
Well, I did,
line.
just a couple of things. Line 464, the transfer station overtime,
Yep,
we spent 3,821, just under 2,000 last year. I would like to take 266 off of that line, but I would add it to line 483 for the baling wire, because we are underfunded on that line.
Before you go and do that, can we talk really quick about line 494 trailer tires, because I'm confused by this one. 3,500, 3,300, we're proposing 1,500, but there's a 30% increase in tires.
but there's no difference.
It's gone down, I'm confused.
Well, there's no difference, the number is carrying,
Well, yeah, but if you look at the
Yeah,
actual
I-
expenses, why
I
are we
think we
not?
should add 1,000 to that line.
absolutely.
That's my,
And it's still short, but I think we should
it's
have.
still
1,000.
short, but at least that would get Jason up closer.
And it seems like a lot of money, but, they might go in some of the most,
I mean, $1,000, you're only talking
yeah.
5, 6 tires.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming when this was put together by the previous DPW director, we must have upgraded those tires, and there's an assumption.
But you're still gonna catch nails and everything else when you go into these places, so.
Okay, I'm just,
Yeah,
I'm
just my thought.
I'm just curious why there would be that dramatic of a reduction.
And, well, it wasn't reduced, it just wasn't increased at all,
Okay.
across the board.
Well,
And-
I
and
mean,
looking at it-
then, excuse me, then I'll just rephrase it. Why there wasn't a proposed increase?
I think there should have been.
Yeah, that's
Could've
an
been a
oversight.
typo, who knows?
So are we moving that to 2,500? Is that
I
what you're
think, I
saying?
think that's a reasonable number to do.
I do.
And now, and then back up to John, you want to jump back to what you were trying to reduce?
I was taking $266 off of line 464, but I was adding it to 483, which is a baling wire.
Which
I
were,
still don't think that's gonna be enough, but it's gonna be closer.
and it says cost increase there too, and it wasn't carried as
Yes.
a cost increase.
And I don't think that's gonna hurt your overtime at the transfer.
I don't think, no. I'd be okay with that. The rest of the board okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah,
That move?
shuffle,
Yeah, the shuffle.
yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other lines in the transfer station?
Last 498, household waste day,
Mm-hmm.
hazardous waste day. 2022, we didn't do. 21, we had 11,000, but we're only budgeting 7,000 for 23.
Correct. There was talk about trying to combine with other,
Another town.
yeah, other towns. There was discussion on,
I remember there was discussion,
Yeah.
but it was just that discussion.
Yeah,
but it's still gonna take fiscal commitment
Well,
regardless.
I understand that, but is 7,000 really the right number, or are we gonna just overspend it?
Oh, we're gonna overspend it.
If you can get someone to do it for you.
Right.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
That was the
Yeah.
reason
only
we didn't
one
have.
That's why
person.
we're
That's
thinking
why
about.
we
There's
didn't
only
have it
one
last year.
vendor.
Yeah, we couldn't
Clean
get
Harbor
away.
wouldn't
Clean
come.
Harbors is the only one, you gotta book 2 years in advance.
Right. And that's why we're talking about pooling with somebody, was to try and get that commitment.
Yeah.
So, I guess, yeah.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, we should put that, John, it's a good point, because if we don't give people a place to dispose of their hazardous waste,
They
or
will
send them
dispose of
in a
it.
direction, we know where it's gonna get disposed of, right?
They will dispose of it.
Right,
yeah.
it has to go somewhere at some point. So maybe, I know this is off topic, but we just need to put a little flag out there, and maybe we could touch base with one of the local towns, which was what we referred to before.
Well, but the fiscal commitment, are we looking to add, keep it the same? What do we wanna do?
Yeah, I believe that 7,000 will be enough, especially if we pool, since if we're 2 years out anyway,
Yeah.
in the short run, the only way we'd spend this money is to pool with somebody else.
Right.
And that's probably affordable if they don't have to set up in 3 different
Yeah,
towns.
and if we can do that, that'd be okay.
The diesel.
Yeah,
Yeah, why not?
yeah.
It's-
I think we should strive to try and do that in '23.
Yeah, yeah, reach out.
A, spend the money, and
Right.
B, allow the outlet.
Because if I remember right, the last time it was almost half of that just to get them here.
Yeah, exactly. And then,
Yeah, it's like $3,500 just to set up.
Yeah.
yeah, and then they last 2.5 hours and close up shop because they're full.
No.
So, yeah, okay. Anything else, transfer station? Okay. Sewer, we have contracted on with, because the, former DPW director was our sewer and our water, we have since contracted on with a local agency, to do the water stuff. And these are kind of pass-through accounts anyways, aren't they?
Sewer goes to the users,
Right. That's a pass-through account. And water is
ours.
ours, okay. You're
You
welcome.
get water in this building, the daycare, that has to be tested.
Right,
It's not passed through to the users, just us.
right, just us. Mhm. So I think those are non-disputables, sewer and water. Ace,
Find that,
Huh?
Animal control.
what's that?
Brings us to animal control.
That's correct, ACO.
Chief, can you come up and, I got questions on this one.
Yeah, he told us we was gonna make a proposal to us to explain this.
And here he is, man of his word.
Which proposal? Oh, the one I was gonna pitch, they didn't wanna do it, so.
Okay.
Oh,
That
all right.
issue,
I want a $1 this entire thing for a year,
that's fine.
because,
You,
Well-
well,
that
except,
Well, you can't, you have
SPCA, you
SPCA.
can't.
except for the SPCA, but,
Yeah, the minimal contribution, right?
yep.
Really, if we're gonna pitch that too, we should really sell the ACO vehicle.
Okay.
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 Okay, keep in mind though, you decrease a position, you're never gonna get it back.
I'm not talking about eliminating the position, just,
You put $1 in there, how you gonna pay somebody $1 for a year?
well, we don't have an ACO on payroll.
Have we advertised?
No, I do have a good prospect though, who, if he wanted
You
to
said you
do
were
it.
gonna try to hire this year.
Somebody.
Yeah, no, I do have a prospect.
It's certainly cheaper
With
than
the
the guy.
staffing of the department in the recent turmoil, obviously my priorities have changed.
Right.
The guy who I'm looking at, if he does want to do it, he's a certified, part-time sheriff, so the training would be very minimal, and we could cut him loose pretty quick.
As an ACO?
Yep.
Okay.
And he was interested, because he ran out of hours with the sheriff's department. So, in law enforcement, you're limited to the number of hours you can do, so he was looking for something else to do
To fill in.
to fill in. I was like,
There you go.
hey, how about this? And he
As
didn't.
long as you have somebody, as long as you have a butt for the seat, then fine, but if you don't have anybody,
He would be good at it. To hire and train an ACO would be a distraction with what's going on
Yep.
if we didn't get him, based on what's happening right now.
Right. Right.
And he lives in town.
No.
Neighboring.
Hey, Henniker. He lives in Henniker. I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah.
What's the status of the ACO vehicle? Is it?
Oh, it's good. We drive around every now and then. We didn't get it undercoated, obviously, this year. Typically, we do.
Yep.
But no, it passes
You
inspection.
still can,
That's good. Hmm?
still time.
I would.
Yeah.
I would, because just sitting, it's gonna rot.
It's gonna get,
Well, if we hire him, he needs something to drive.
well,
Even just sitting in the
just
parking
sitting
lot,
in
it's
the
gonna
air
rot.
going under it, it's gonna get to it.
With all
I'd
the
have,
moisture.
I would have it undercoated.
Yep, even.
Okay.
even-
There's
even-
plenty of money on the line to get it done,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, if you got a butt for the seat, then let's leave it, but if
Yeah.
you're not gonna be looking to actively fill it, I wanna,
I can probably get an answer on that by your next board meeting.
Okay.
okay.
That'd be good.
Yep.
And did you report that vehicle is 56,000 miles on
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's not huge, I know.
No.
Probably bought it with 55,000.
So if you,
It was about 8, I think, if I recall correctly.
so if you hire somebody, right now you have absolutely nothing in there to buy gas for.
Yeah, that was in my proposed, wasn't it?
No, there's
See.
nothing.
Proposed runs right across as lines.
I was gonna add $700 in there for fuel. You have nothing.
Line 533 XL.
that's I had something. I think that's a typo, if you go to my budget online. I put, it wasn't much. I think I put $20 a month, $30 a month maybe. But I had something in there.
So 3 times 12 is 360.
Yeah, it wasn't much. It's a couple $100
Yeah,
bucks.
So,
I think I
say
do.
500?
I think,
You could take your 500 that you had in your difference and put it on to fuel.
Yeah. Yeah, the $500.
Actually, that 240. I had 240 and a difference, so it's a flat budget.
Well, you had meetings and seminars for $500, and then,
Well, I moved that 500 up.
right, up to the outside.
Because
vendor fees, right.
so, and that's there, if we have, and this, even without an ACO, if we hit a major investigation in like a dog fighting ring.
Yeah.
We're required to quarantine and store that dog, which is gonna be, that line is
Substantial.
gone after a
Right.
day.
Because
And we're gonna have
that-
that dog in there
They're
a month,
quarantined.
2
yeah,
months.
Yeah.
Because we almost hit that,
You're gonna know what
I
that's
think
like?
last year.
On patrol.
We were close to getting that type of investigation, but it
She's on
worked
the
out where
board.
we didn't.
All right.
so we're gonna take the 500 for the meetings that he took out? put
No,
down
we
the
already
fuel?
put that up above.
No,
Yep.
we're talking the 240. We're gonna put 240
Oh, all
up
right.
there to
240.
zero the line.
right.
Yeah, at least put something in there.
Yeah, 240.
Yeah,
I mean, that's something.
that'll do it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else on ACO?
No,
Nope. We're good.
keeping it simple.
Okay. Are we all set with the chief?
I got stuff for you.
You do?
Yep.
Ain't you something? Okay.
Jason does too, that's why he's hanging out.
Oh, okay.
Shouldn't take more than an hour.
Oh, good.
Have fun with that.
Health department. This is one that we've, again, moved around a little bit, but not really. Still have to cover the spot, you still have to cover, you still gotta have it staffed, which we do,
We do.
so,
And she's taking classes.
yep. So, it's a $500 increase across the entire department, $575. Anybody?
No, this is,
Welfare, again, with the restructuring, the entire line is down by 6,200. There's still some training and stuff in there, so. $565,
Yep,
that seems, the numbers seem way different.
that's because we're good.
Okay.
Won't tell you that we get 3 this week, though.
Okay. It's the town assistance, it's the money that we use to, help, ones in need. We don't know what that's gonna be year to year. The budget is 15,000.
This year, maybe.
I'll
Used
say-
to be 25.
I'll say that, yes, I remember cutting that. I'll say that the townspeople have been fortunate, because we've only spent
Right.
1,100, so,
But just this week, we got 3.
3 applications, okay, so. All right, I'll leave it alone.
What line were you on?
565.
Okay.
Okay. All right, move down to Parks and Recs. They're representing a 6,
Actually-
oh,
Let's go back. Those 3 applications, Is there an average of how much per application?
Is it very?
No, there's about 28 or 32 pages tell you what you gotta supply us. At that point, we qualify you and see what you have for income and what's allowable for expenses.
Okay.
And then you're allowed, if you need help, then you get help. If you make more than the allowable expenses, then we can't help.
Okay.
Every application is different,
Okay.
you know? We have to weigh each one differently.
And where I'm going with that is, with everything going on, with heating oil being stupid as it is, with electricity being as stupid as it is, it used to be 25. We're at 15. We've shorted it, that entire one, by 6,200 due to restructuring. What's everybody's thought about adding another 5 and make it 20? Just to have, just because of everything going on, just to put in a safety net for the townspeople.
Well, I think that at the end of the day, it's a bottom line budget. And I think that if we went back another couple of years, we could really see it, but I don't think we're gonna obtain it, and that's why we went from 25 down. Now, there was also a time when our, I'll call it vetting system, the forms of documentation was very loose. It was not well scripted, and we changed that with the help of some previous administration, and really got to the point of, I don't want to say proving it, but verifying it, the need, and that's why we made that $10,000 deduction.
Okay, so let me pose this to the board. Gets approved at $15,000. Are we gonna cap it at $15,000 if we get a bunch?
You
No, you
can't.
can't.
You have a responsibility.
By law, you can't.
You can go to
Okay.
$50,000 if the need was there.
As long as
Right.
we're gonna not cap this.
No, we're not
then
capping
it
it.
is
You
what it
can't.
is.
We're not capping.
You have a responsibility.
Yeah, yeah,
Then
there's a
we'll
legal
leave it-
responsibility.
We'll leave it the way it is.
And there's actually more avenues out there for assistance.
Yeah.
You know, Southern New Hampshire Services helps with fuel and electricity.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's
And-
other places,
and
there's a whole list
We
of
could provide those
places.
recommendations, right?
They're upstairs, we have a whole list of
Yeah,
places you can
but we
call.
provide those, the recommendations.
Yeah, we give you the whole list of people you can call, sure.
Yeah, state fuel assistance program, all
Yeah.
of that goes with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'm done with that.
Okay.
No, you have a responsibility.
Yeah, you have to obligate. All right, Parks and Rec. They're showing, reflecting a $6,000 increase for portable toilets. Rubbish removal costs are up, and they would like to add $1,000 to the maintenance line, for fencing, lake steps, gatehouse steps, and Bolton Park equipment.
Leave it.
I thought they,
Yeah, the
Okay,
Bolton
so-
Park equipment has been pretty well beat, and the money they've used this year just to replace simple stuff, but
yeah, I thought they were on
the
their own.
playground bark mulch down there, they've been trying to get, they've had to replace the plexiglass windows on the playground equipment, things like that, and all those costs, just like everything else, those costs are ever increasing, and it's getting harder and harder for that particular department on a very shoestring budget to be able to maintain all the properties that they're charged with. So I think this is a very safe number, if not a little low.
Okay.
Gonna have to defer to John.
Yeah,
As-
no,
as
John
ex
is
officio,
the,
He knows this
is the ex
better than
officio.
any of us, so.
Obviously, they've come up with these real numbers. At the end of the day, their number is a bottom line of their section. You know, and they're spending exactly, what they can. Matter of fact, it looks like they're within $600 at the end of the year. So, even if they didn't spend it in that particular line, myself, I'm looking at like 585, it was down almost $3,000, but what they didn't spend down there, they spent on the outside services, rubbish removal, and the repairs.
Correct.
So, they moved it,
Yeah, they had to move it from, they had to rob Peter to pay Paul on some things.
absolutely. So. Anybody else?
No, just, sometimes, this again is more of a question of, out of just inexperience in this process. But when there's a consistent robbing, if you have a fat line, is there eventually an adjustment where you take from that line and move it to the other permanently?
That would be where the proposed
Well, yeah,
should be doing it.
That's where, that's, if there was a, like,
So this isn't consistent year to year that this $5,000 line item?
no,
Is running in the $1,500 range?
just like what the fire department did, moving their lines around to their proposed, that's what they're, that's what will be produced. So, the library, again, that, they went up $1,100 on their building maintenance, which I think is to cover just general stuff that we chatted about here at this board level. Conservation, down $700, and then everything else is the same across. So, I see numbers being crunched over there to see what we did at the end of the session here.
Yeah, you cut the budget by $34,080 tonight.
Okay?
You're running the percentage? I think that's the big one.
It's a 9.14.
What was it again?
9.14.
Hey, look, I got the same number.
What, we didn't?
Okay.
You want to take another shot at it? Because I'd like to get it under 8. I mean, I'd like to get it under 9.
How late do we have? I mean, to submit the budget.
Well, we really need to wrap it up,
I know that, okay.
because we have to have a public hearing on the 16th, so you need to have it
Well,
available.
there you go. See, there's our deadline.
Okay.
Can you,
Are
can
you-
you run the number real quick if we make major cuts to animal control?
Which would be what?
Like, drop that $12,000, the, what it would cost for payroll, basically. If you drop those and just leave, so leave 529. Yeah, just leave 529 and $1 out the rest. What would that change the percentage to?
Well, we'd have to keep the professional services, the SPCA.
That's,
Correct,
you saying
529.
leaving that,
Yep,
you saying leave
leave that
that.
where that is. And just make everything else $1, just to keep the line item open. I'm sorry, 529, Excel line 529,
Gotcha, okay.
account 390.
Gotcha. Oh, all right, so you just want,
That's another 16,000. I don't think that's gonna get you below your 9, but that's also depending upon what the chief comes up with too.
And you had a paper here that I saw, you had some flow chart, that one right there.
so it's only gonna be a budget of $610? Is
Those are the gallons right
that
here,
what you're asking?
That's what we just
Yeah.
saved for
Okay.
50 cents. That's diesel.
but this was the gallonage.
This is this is if we took $1 off.
Oh,
This is 50 cents off.
where are the gallons? Right there, 35,000.
What are you trying to get below?
So you reduced it by 15,452.
Okay, and that would,
Bottom line you want?
yeah, what would be the percentage that Kevin's asking for at that point?
Or you'd be under the 8 million. No, you wouldn't.
No.
Come on.
No. $9.10.
And that's all based on whether the chief comes back with information about a potential ACO, so.
Did you have a certain number in mind you were looking at?
He wanted 9%.
I want, yeah, I mean, I I was hoping we would fall underneath that 9 and be more in line with what is the
I just don't,
inflation costs.
right, so if you
That's-
look at the last time we had an approved budget was 2019.
Right,
Since 2000, if you look at 2020, social security, the cost of living increase was 1.3, 21 was 5.9, 22 was 8.7. Let's add 3 years together, it's 15.9% increase. So
Just like we saw
we've
at
done
Jack's.
really, really well to only
Oh.
increase 9
Absolutely.
and make it all work.
Right.
And I understand, hey, I'd like to do it too, but at some point, that band's gonna break.
yeah,
We've
Yeah.
stretched all we can stretch.
yeah.
I just took John's diesel numbers and took another quarter off of them. And it was like $9,800. But again, I don't think that's,
No, it's, and those are the big ticket items, the salt and the fuel.
Yeah.
That we're trying to forecast, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't want to get caught short, so we're forecasting on the high side of that.
right.
Because we're not gonna have the money we're not gonna be able to rob from Peter to pay Paul if those increases get to that level. So
Right.
we can't, risk that, so.
No, I
mean,
agree.
hopefully, the voters will understand that, the number makes all kinds of sense if you look at the big picture inflation. It's just what they hear on their daily news feed and trying to get it aligned somewheres with that. It's really, I almost, probably shouldn't say this, but it's almost psychological as much, because we do need to get the voters on board with the fact that the tank is gonna run out of fuel here eventually.
Right,
And there's only so many ways you can get things done.
right. Yeah,
As they see at home, we're all facing that at home.
right. I think that if we do get a default budget, there's gonna be a very tough conversation that happens at this board level, that following meeting.
Right, well, then.
Very tough.
And, right, I think we could be even more transparent than that. Obviously, the town, if we go into another default budget, is not gonna be able to provide the services that they've been
Accustomed to.
skimming by with, and that, and that the public is accustomed to. Certain things will go away, certain amenities will go away. They just have to, because the bills have to be paid.
Correct,
So, no, that's,
yeah, so,
yeah, it's just, everyone has done a great job. Again, it's my first year, and I've sat in on the finance committee meetings, and I listened to the presentations, and people are really, they understand they gotta try to make it work with limited funds, so
yep, absolutely.
I compliment them, and I hope the voters, can appreciate that too, and give us a very lean budget to work with.
So what are we gonna use to punch in numbers, at least for the public hearing? You can change them at the public hearing.
Yeah.
So we need to get out this,
I'd say we punch in the numbers that were discussed tonight.
okay.
I think.
At the public hearing, you get every opportunity to change.
Correct, right, so I
Yes.
think we start there.
Right, so these numbers that bring us to the 9.14% is the numbers we'll use to put in the budget.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
yes, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna step out.
Okay, thank you, John.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Yep,
Are we doing warrant articles tonight?
no, that wasn't the plan,
Oh, okay.
I don't believe. We
Oh,
didn't,
I'm just gonna add them on.
We're just gonna throw them in
So
the
what
budget.
we're gonna have to do with the warrant articles is we're just gonna put them on.
Yep.
You guys gonna have to look at them on the 16th and decide what you're gonna take off and put on.
can you send them to us before?
I tried to do that today.
Put them in a box.
Yeah, or you can do that too, put them in the box.
I can send it to you.
Okay.
I can send it to you ahead of time, but it's just,
Yeah, if you
you know,
could.
we have to post a public hearing, and you can always remove them that night if you don't want them.
It doesn't have to be tomorrow, obviously, whatever.
Well, I tried to do that 2 days in a row now, but if I could lock my door.
Yeah, exactly, so. All right, Chief Moore, you have something?
Jason had something.
Jay, are you gonna be a long time too? Yeah, what is the time?
Well, it's long-winded.
You can go first.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Recognize
Jason,
Jason.
he might have a longer commute than you.
Yeah.
Oh, paperwork.
There it is. Oh boy.
Yeah, he's been at it.
That's fancy, guys.
Okay, wow.
Bring
average it out enough for everybody, but clearly everybody's not here. All right, so this is just gonna be a, proposed repair to get the rating up on the bridge.
A temporary repair to get.
Yep, to get the rating up for now until we replace the bridge.
Okay.
First page here is basically just short description of what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it, what the steps are, just to keep everything streamlined, keep us within our time frame on the spreadsheet on the next page. So we're gonna put some temporary fencing up, get some signage. No trespassing, keep out kind of deal.
Yep.
We do have the fire enclosed trailer.
Okay.
We're gonna drop down there just to
Storage.
get the guys who are working place to have their lunch or whatever. Get out of the weather a little bit on their break. If we need temporary power, just gonna throw some temporary power down there. We gotta run a grinder, anything really. Toilet, portable toilet, lift rental. Lift is essentially gonna enable us to get underneath the bridge, needle scale. Gonna try to do that in-house. Couple guys, couple weeks. That money you see there is 2 men, 2 weeks, a little bit extra just in case we run over our 2-week
Yeah,
deadline.
unforeseen.
Yep. The environmental equipment is for that scaling. We're gonna,
Catch it.
yep, just get a few nets made up, some canvas that we can put
Yeah.
on the,
Around
basket
the- Yep.
and, just keep all of the stuff out of the river.
Right.
Welder, gonna be something, maybe we can get, somebody local,
Mhm.
hire them out.
Mhm.
$105 an hour, roundabout. There's cushion there, just in case we gotta get them back for something, whatnot. Steel, just for all the patches we need. All that stuff's gonna be designed by the engineer, that's where you see that engineering. That short description there kinda gave a process of what we were gonna do. Get about half of the bridge scaled, get the engineer out for a first inspection so he can design the pieces, we can get them out, start getting them manufactured. We can then scale the last half of the bridge, or the last half of our problems, I should say. So hopefully by the time the first pieces are coming in, we're done our scaling, the welder can come in, and we can get the second set of pieces manufactured, so hopefully the welder will be done with the first half, welding those in when the second half comes in, just to keep everything going at a steady pace. We were thinking a month for work, 2 men, 2 weeks, welder for 2 weeks. Tried to extend it about 15 more days, just to keep us in the somewhat of a budget we have here for it. We're still trying to keep some money to repair Lowell Road as well as replace this whole bridge when we get to that point.
So this estimate of 68,000, to be rough, would get it back to an unrated status with
This is-
repairs.
Yeah, this is gonna address, all the deficiencies the state had.
And we've already addressed a little bit of it, right, with those deck
Yeah, so
repairs?
We've already done the bridge deck repairs.
Okay.
One copy of, the bridge report by the state.
I think, did you
Yeah, you
add it?
attached it. You attached it, yeah.
You
Oh, it's on there?
attached-
All right, it's not on mine.
Yeah, you attached it to him, thank you.
My fault.
Nope, thank you.
This is actually a quote we have from Jacobs.
Yep.
To essentially do the same thing.
Okay.
See the total cost is around 124 for them.
Yep.
So we're gonna be saving a little bit of money, it's gonna help us on Lowell Road.
Yep.
For sure.
Which Lowell Road is a culvert replacement, correct? Or a repair of a culvert?
Repair.
Okay.
Yep.
You want to see that? No, you get. Okay, it's late. Next. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking to, get you guys to
Prove that.
approve that so we can start taking steps forward here.
Okay.
It's gonna come up quicker than you think, for sure.
Oh, Beth left. That was nice. Did we receive that funding yet? The state funding that was supposed to come in? Yeah, I know. I said, I bet Beth left, yeah.
Yeah, I just saw it yesterday. I just saw it somewhere that it's one we received, the other's pending.
I knew
The roadblock came in.
yeah, one of them came in, I think we're waiting on the,
And we still have the,
there's
we have a
three-
total in-house of 800 and change, right?
No. No, we have
think we have to-
420
No,
in the bridge fund.
I guess, before I say a number that's
combining
wrong,
them.
I think we need to, I don't have the numbers, I don't know if they're in, I don't wanna say anything, because I
Okay.
don't know. Because I don't wanna mislead somebody. But I think we need to just, we'll ask Beth what's there, what we have. But we were on track to need about 750
Yeah,
for the repair, Lull Road, no, just hang on. So the repair, based on this,
yep,
and it's different now. But then the repair to Lull is on us.
yep,
So the repair to Lull, the repair to this, and we need $600,000 roughly
for the actual
for the
bridge project.
20% of the
The bridge
Right.
project.
fix.
Yeah,
So we were looking at somewhere around 750 is what we
Right,
were.
and I
Total,
thought-
total.
and that's what but we were gonna have it.
Yes, if you total
If you total
all,
all the projects, we were gonna have that in that fund.
if you total all the
I'm
funds.
just not sure exactly where it is.
Where they are. as
I don't
far
know
as-
if we haven't got it yet, I don't know.
I would wanna see that
Yeah, yeah.
before I commit anything. I mean,
But
but I think
they-
this number is very pliable.
Oh,
Yeah, this portion of the work has to happen
Right.
regardless of anything, or we have to accept the risk of complete bridge closure.
Right, and I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so this
understand
is sort of, somehow or another, we have to, the monies that are allocated, we have the money that was originally allocated for that bridge, so, and this has to get underway so that we can get in line for the spring inspections, because if we miss
They come out
those.
the end of April, the end of
Yeah,
April.
End of April, that's the whole
Yeah.
premise here, or then we go all the way to October. There's like two
Mm-hmm. They
windows.
do
Right, they
Two
do it,
times.
yeah,
Yep.
spring and fall.
So we would move us back out to October, which then we'd lose the prime summer on a second season for our, basically.
Use of it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, I don't disagree with that. I know that when we had a full board, there was conversation about not putting another dollar into that than we had to,
Yeah.
in that bridge, the existing bridge, because it was throwing good money at bad. So I guess my question as a board member is, I know that we were talking about two plans that the state was that could viably approve.
Right,
Where are we at with that? Because we were
Well,
supposed
Well,
to
they've
discuss that
already
at the board.
agreed to move us to 26.
right. We already agreed to move 26.
So we're looking
and-
at, we're still looking at a minimum of 2 years before the bridges gets replaced.
Which is why we talked about
bringing
fixing
up,
it.
That we have to fix it to make,
To make the 2-year window.
we're bridging this window.
Okay, so regardless, we're 2 years before the bridge is replaced.
Yeah.
Twenty-
so this-
3.
3.
Technically 3 before
But
people are
we
driving
run
across
the
it,
risk of
course.
shutting it off altogether
course.
if we don't do a repair.
Okay, all right.
Of course.
That was my question. I just wanted clarification on that
Yes.
because Again, I know that there was discussion at this board of not putting another dollar into that bridge, because we already stuffed 80 grand at it, what, 5 years ago now? I think it was
Yeah,
2017,
we
18.
were told it was a 5-year fix, and we're on the
Here we are,
6th
5
year.
years, yeah,
We're on
so.
the 6th year.
So again, I just want to clarify that. And I'm not, this number looks good to me, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. That conversation was had at this board level,
Yeah.
so.
And the reason, again, for the urgency, the board requested this
Is the
in
spring
our
inspection.
last meeting. Not only that, but there's this particular piece of machinery, the XX25, 125, there's only about 4 of these in the state.
Yeah.
Oh, to try and secure it.
We
'Cause
have to
it's-
get it.
It's one that,
Yeah.
We,
it's
like,
gonna-
we have to eventually,
Oh, is it one that goes?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
so we have to be able
We've
to,
done all the,
Yeah.
we've done a lot of measurements down at the bridge to make sure that this is.
it'll function there, so that, because this is if we try to execute, Jason can speak better to this than I can, if we try, because of his experience with the deck, if we try to execute from above, this number's gonna triple,
Yeah,
Okay.
if we
Yeah,
start opening up the
I put a
bridge
small
deck.
note there, sorry, I didn't make it known, but, yeah, all these repairs are gonna be from underneath.
right.
Okay.
Right,
What
And-
this number is
and the
reflecting.
pieces of steel are gonna have to be designed in pieces.
To fit up in.
So I think what
Weight-wi-
he's,
And weight-wise, because
Yeah.
if we get a 900-pound piece of steel, the
Yeah.
only way down is through the deck.
Right.
So the engineers are going to be designing around
Pieces.
manageable pieces
That a lift can pick up.
that the lift can handle with one person in it, because we have a max of 600 pounds
Okay.
in the basket.
so I think what he's after is if he can call around and see if he could get one of these.
Oh,
At least put your name on.
at this point, with the timeline of replacement,
Yeah, start of 3/1.
no, of replacement of the bridge.
Yeah,
Right.
I think we would be negligent not to try and do something to get it for that 2 years, 2-3 years.
Right.
right, because it's the risk we run as,
Of full closure,
right, which is gonna affect,
everybody in that sense, so. We are the agents to expend that fund, right? Okay. And we know there's at least 420 in it,
yeah.
because the town's put
Yeah,
that much money in
right,
it.
we're just waiting to put the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess he's looking for, is to move ahead, at least call Matthews and get it so we can have it.
Or someone.
Or
Yeah,
someone.
Reach out to these guys.
Do we just approve the number at this point?
Yeah, and the green light, and then, what I will be requesting of Jason anyway is I know that the 105 an hour, that, I think it came from, I think he said multi-weld over in Kentucky, just to get a ballpark, but, there's other people around, certified welders that might be willing to work below that, so we'd want to get at least 1 or 2 other numbers there.
Absolutely.
Right away. But
But we
it's
gotta
really
secure
just,
that 125
it's,
machine.
it's getting the green light to start, to be able to say, okay, where are we gonna buy the temporary fence from?
And then the
get
steel,
quotes
I don't know how long the steel's gonna
What's
take.
the name of the fund? Is it the Bridge Reconstruction Fund? I just can't remember what the actual name of it
Yeah,
is.
I think that's.
That doesn't sound right.
No, it don't sound right.
That doesn't sound right.
Trying to think if I got a quick
Reconstruction?
email, but I don't.
No, that doesn't sound right either.
This is a really, by the way, this is well put together.
Yeah.
None of you have the capital reserve balances Beth gave you?
No.
Yeah, I will.
Somewhere buried, probably.
Somewheres I will. Are you trying to cook it now?
Should be a single sheet, it's got them all.
Right, I know what it looks like, I just gotta, oh, that's the default budget.
Cause she's got the names, oh, Kevin's got it.
There it is.
What's the name of the fund?
We have the Bridge Reconstruction Fund.
That's right.
That was right.
We were right. I'll just make a motion to spend it, because we gotta repair it.
Yeah.
I'll move that we approve, up to $70,000 to approve, the, River Road, Bridge Repair Project. Start date effective, tentatively 3/1/23, end date 4/15/23, as provided by the, acting DPW director. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. What?
Money?
Money to come from the Bridge Reconstruction Fund, Capital Reserve Fund. I was close. And it was 70,000. So, is there a second?
Second.
Moving second, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
One last thing.
Nope, sorry, you already spent your money tonight.
Yeah, I know.
He's over here.
I'm just gonna try to get probably one or two of these to you guys a month. I know we have 2 meetings.
Okay, okay, yeah, appreciate that.
Just to kind of show you guys what
Oh,
we're
here,
doing. Oh,
here.
jeez, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the boss, you better give the boss one.
Try to keep you updated on what's going on down there, what we got by way of employment, what we're doing. Kind of some other business we got in the works. Obviously, the bridge repair's on here. Working on doing some sort of, get more in compliance, I suppose, with our oil storage for our
Okay.
heat. We're working on marking all our barrels like we need to, as they're coming in and out, filling up the tank, we're marking them.
Let me ask you, would totes be a better option for you guys, or is barrels the way?
They're a little bit more rugged.
The barrels?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I mean, they can take a fall.
I mean, I know you guys have forks to move stuff around,
Yeah,
I just didn't know if it was pliable.
We put 4 of them on a pallet, pick them up.
Okay.
The totes last a couple years.
But the UV gets to them probably, right? Okay.
Yeah, they
Okay.
sit out in the sun for
Just a
any
thought.
length of time.
Yeah, just a thought.
We still gotta do something with containment.
Yep.
Another project I'm working on anyway. Fall protection for actually cleaning off the trash trailer. We were donated a harness. So we're
We
kinda,
used to have a cage that would go on the forks. What happened to that?
I'm not sure. We looked for it, couldn't find it.
We had that, and we had the
I don't,
harness for it, 'cause I'd sit in the skid steer, Bill would go up on that with a roof rake and clean them
yeah,
off.
yeah, I don't know where it went. I don't know if it got dumped in the metal dumpster by somebody for some reason or what happened to it. But, I got a quote for a broom, 6, 7 feet to go on the excavator, just to sweep it off.
I would rather see that anyways.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would.
Yeah.
We don't have to put someone in the air.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the ideal
I
solution.
gotta give Matt some credit on that. He had that idea.
Yeah, 'cause
So-
he didn't like going up there.
No, I doubt it.
No.
Yeah, no one
No,
should.
that's bad.
Yeah, that's-
That's steel, slippery,
Oh, yeah.
no.
No, we're breaking
Well, we
every,
never went on the roof.
Still.
We just stayed in the man.
Still,
Yeah.
it's
we're
just
breaking every
definitely.
rule in the book.
right, so.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's one other thing we're
Okay.
gonna work on.
Yep.
You'll see that sometime soon, but,
Okay.
yeah. And then the
Appreciate
mowing tractor. I didn't get that to you guys tonight, but
Yep.
that'll be coming
It's
up
on-
here pretty
it's on the
quick.
horizon.
Yep.
All right, I know that, you're here now, but, you were throwing a curveball there with the rain and the ice and everything like that. And
Yeah.
again, I want to commend your crew and you, commend the DPW, I mean, the police department and the fire department as well, again, for a job well done. I went down there Saturday and he said, yeah, I got 3 broke trucks and we're still trying to make ends meet here, so, I see you fixed one of them because it's in the parking lot
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
You know, so, again,
Might need them tomorrow.
just a fine job done by everybody.
Yeah, communication was good, between all departments for sure. Dispatch was good, police were good.
Good.
I know all the guys down there, so they were all calling, checking up.
Yep.
Fire was good.
Yep.
It was, yeah. It
I
was
only
handled pretty well.
bothered you a couple times.
Yeah. No, it was handled pretty well for sure.
Yeah.
Do you wanna make a motion for earlier tonight while he's here so we can call him?
Yeah, we can do that.
What are we on now?
Transfer
The
station.
hiring.
So Jason can let him know.
But we were gonna have a conversation about the other one too,
Okay.
so I think there needs to be a little bit more discussion on that one.
Yeah, one of us will text you after the meeting regarding contacting of Mike, okay?
All right. Very good.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. By the way, and, this is perfect, because we'll add this right to the rest of the package.
Thank you. Mike
Yeah.
up. Chief Moore.
Another follow-up for each of them. So
Oh,
you've
yeah.
authorized me to sign the packet. With that, they needed the Board of Selectmen notes, meeting agenda, saying that that was done.
Just have them do
That's
that,
not available. So
sign
this one.
For me. Get me off.
says,
Sorry, I was
you guys got to
distracted.
vote to authorize Ricky to sign that, saying, yes, you have accepted that $3,652.66.
Right,
Which you previously did.
Yeah.
And you are authorizing me to sign it. So that replaces the Board of Selectmen meeting notes from that night. that
What
you
was the
did that
amount again?
previously.
Whoa.
$3,652.66. And that was that e-ticket that we discussed?
Oh, yes, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just verification that the board approved it. That's all it is.
Okay, yeah.
I move that Ricky sign the
Division of Highway Road
DOS
Safety.
High Office Highway Safety for the Equipment Amendment number 23-193.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moving second, all in favor?
Yes.
Abstain.
All right. That's one. I got four. And they're gonna go pretty quick. Next one, let me get back here.
Nobody can hear you.
So,
Well, they
Yeah,
probably
I
hear,
know, huh?
they could probably hear you in mine.
Yeah.
You're a very soft-spoken man.
since I wasn't here on the end of year purchases, I'm not requesting any of your purchase, by the way, but Doug had also sent me a quote for a server, even though I heard you say we got one a couple years ago. I don't need this approved tonight, this is just for consideration. Because I gotta get more information from him. He is saying we rely on Goffstown server, and if we go to our own server, it will reduce our costs. He was supposed to be meeting with Goffstown IT to determine what those costs were. However, he has not done that. Since I know I'll have money in my future salary line, once we get that information, I'll pitch this again.
This could
and
be an
go
end-of-year
through it.
purchase, 23,
Yeah,
potentially. Okay.
potentially, whenever we can get all that information.
Okay.
Sound good? That's just,
Just informational.
yes.
Thank you.
Let you know what, two-way needs us to designate a point of contact for the town, to get everything going. Obviously, he recommended Sergeant Montplaisir as well as I do because of his involvement with the program, and you saw what he did throughout the summer along with Officer Perslow. Those two are instrumental.
What, in regards to what kind of point of contact?
They have, let's see, what he included in there. On the two-way side, we have some time to get this kicked off properly, so there isn't much urgency, but this is an October email. Have you thought about who will be the designated point of contact from the town? If I may, I would recommend Sergeant Montplaisir if he's available for the role. He's a go-getter and someone I believe would serve the town well. I see him pushing my team if things get slack, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's been responsive and proactive, and I think my team would work well with him. Whoever you choose, we just need someone to act as the responsible party from the town of Weare, and we would get the project picked off. He doesn't specify what the role is.
I'd be very inclined to know what the role is.
I can follow up.
I'm not trying to discredit anybody, I just want, again, this is a large-scale project for the town.
Sure.
and I just want to make sure we're authorizing the right okays and how-do-you-dos.
Yeah, I'll try to get him more, yeah, I don't see it in
Narrowed
here
scope.
anywhere.
Yeah, just a narrowed scope of what he means.
Yep. Yeah, he's been acting since October, so like I said, I figured I'd push that forward to try to get him.
Well, I know
for that.
the equipment's out still too, so.
Yep. In relation to that project, obviously, you guys, I've kind of mentioned this before, I'd like some way to recognize Sergeant Montplaisir and Officer Perslow. They've saved the town about $300,000 should everything go through. That was ARP money. I have an article for ARP where you can give bonuses to employees. What I'd like to do is to get them patrol rifles as a bonus for their savings. So they've saved almost $300,000. It'd be $8,000 for both of them to get a patrol rifle. It benefits the town by it gives us more equipment for on the street, plus it recognizes their effort in saving that money.
I would want to run that by.
Oh yeah, no rush, because obviously we gotta see how it all plays out.
Right, because the way that I understood that, it was in their paycheck, not in items.
I have got them to agree, which they will put in writing, if it comes in their paycheck, they will spend it on a patrol rifle.
I'm just saying, again,
That's the actual
Yeah,
article.
that's a,
Also, in that article, I'd like to point out, you can buy police cars if we have that type of savings. That, I have highlighted that. from the president's desk, $450 million in public safety technology and equipment, like new police cars, upgraded radio systems, body-worn cameras, and gunshot detection systems. So 2 cars is what I was looking for this year. One would be 42 because, I don't know if you've heard the previous conversation, I have the money for the upfit available through the day and patrols that we do. It's about $19,000. And by the time we actually get a car, it'd probably be around 25 over the summer. So I'd be able to upfit that one. And then patrol vehicle. Not as much urgency since staffing's going down. But, it is what it is. The cars will give out. And I don't know if I've ever told y'all the philosophy of the command vehicle also being a Tahoe, right? Obviously, the priority is the front 5. So that's why we get the same vehicle, because it's a couple $1,000s to continue the upfit to make it a patrol vehicle, because obviously they're the priority.
Okay.
So that's just on the back burner, we gotta see how that all plays out, but I'm just throwing that in there. I did have one more thing. A
Okay,
warrant
and
article.
Chief, just so make sure that we, the ARPA money, the radio tower is the primary.
Oh, absolutely.
Project for the ARPA money. As we just discussed, we have a key element of our infrastructure that we also have to make sure we have the money to fix.
Yep, the bridge.
And until that is
Oh, no, I get
completely
it.
sorted.
Yeah, no,
there'll be-
absolutely.
I will not be in favor of touching that ARPA money for anything else.
Oh, agree.
And
I'm just throwing it out there.
The
As
end-
we see it play out.
End of use on that's 26, right? On that ARPA money? Okay. I just
Yes.
wanna make
Same
sure.
time the bridges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we've got some time.
Yeah, but we'll be connecting that, we'll just,
Yep, no
the
problem.
minute we know we have that, all that money secured
just
and
gotta
we can
plant
take
the
care of these, yeah, we know that one's out there, but I don't want to mislead your men or anyone else. that-
No, not at all. That's an article similar to what New Boston didn't pass for a contract between proposals. I sent this to Naomi.
Oh, okay.
For the dispatch increases. So even though we accounted for those dispatch increases in the town budget, at the town budget, the voters also have an opportunity to pass those increases through a warrant article. The warrant article becomes null and void if the budget passes. And that, I got that straight from New Hampshire Legal Resources or something, where they put out all the examples. So that, you can just mull over that one.
And we're mulling over this for consideration,
To go on the ballot.
On the ballot.
okay?
Yep.
It secures
As
those,
you-
those
yeah.
dispatch services that we've entered into.
But it's in, the increased number is in the budget, so if the budget passes, this
I
warrant
got it,
article's
yeah,
not
yeah, I
twice.
got it.
Right.
Yeah, I got
Yep.
it, I
But
got
at
it.
least
There's
covers-
there's no header on this, that's the only reason.
Oh, it just says article and
Yeah,
explanation.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys have to establish that,
Okay.
wherever it falls in.
Okay.
That was it. Done. It was much quicker.
Than you thought.
No, I knew I was gonna be quick.
Well, you were, never mind. Okay.
Did he get back his signed paper?
Yes.
Yes, you did. Yep,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, very good. Just get it back up here. Correspondence, other business of the board.
I just have one thing. Jason came over before he left. We need, it makes sense, is, right now Lee is the only one that signs the bills.
Yep.
So Lee is out sick, so
Matt
the
was
bills.
Matt was the backup.
Okay, well, that, Jason would like to have authorization to sign the bills.
I think that's
Okay,
appropriate.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I think it's appropriate. Does that need to be moved or just a
I
consensus?
mean, you made the motion to have Lee do it with Matt as a backup. Lee's been sick.
Move to allow Jason to sign the bills.
Second,
Move and second, all in favor?
yes.
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 Okay, that's what he wanted.
There it is, done.
Correspondence?
Correspondence, other business, yep.
The only, I'd like to just take a moment and just recognize that in our last 2 meetings under public comment, there have been citizens that have decided to use that platform to express feelings that have,
Thank you, chief.
they did mentioned individuals, employees, board members in a personal way, made statements about their behavior and possibly what their intent was, that were really disparaging and an attack on their character. Excuse me. I want to personally apologize to anyone that was affected by that for not, as a board member, taking a firm stand and shutting that down. I know at the time, as often it is for the board, all the board members, public comment comes at us fast and furious. And how to react in the moment is difficult at times because we don't want to elevate a situation. But in this particular case, those individuals that were affected, a citizen, an employee, a board member, they deserve at least a recognizing by the board that we may have fell short. I personally am going to make a real effort going forward not to allow this to happen again. And I believe it's really important that we acknowledge those people because they were affected.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I do like the term that, like you said, we don't know what's coming when public comment is stated, right? We don't know where it's gonna go, where the discussion is headed, until it's over. And then even then, we're still in a blaze. Again, I would agree. You know, there was some insinuations made that were, I believe, false. And I too feel the same way that, you know, it needs to be town-related specific. You know, let me preface it, we don't have to allow public comment. This board can take that away. Absolutely. It's the option of this board. I don't think that that's the correct option. I think we need to allow the town to speak. But they need to speak respectfully and to the point of, you know, not the business at hand, but town business, right?
Right. Yeah, as I mulled this over, I would like the board to consider at that introduction, when the citizen states their name and their address, they'd also clarify the topic in which they want to address. And provided that topic is a topic that is before the board, or is an up-and-coming topic, or is directly related to an activity of one of the departments, but somehow creating parameters to prevent anyone from coming in this room and using this as a town, you know, just openly opening up and voicing how they don't like their neighbor, you know, some personal issue that they have that is way outside the realm of our job. This is really critical. If it was limited to just this room, the impact would be very small. It would be contained.
Right.
But the fact that we're up and live on the worldwide internet, there's tremendous exposure there. Defamation of character is a big deal. So asking the person to tell us,
A topic.
what is this relating to? Is this relating to current business, future business?
Previous
or-
business.
Or an action happened of one of our departments? And if it's, no, I want to tell you about something that happened to me,
No.
no, I'm sorry, we're not here tonight. I think that would prevent us from being blindsided, as we often are.
Well, I think, again, and, you know, I think we have to be careful. We allow public comment, yes, but when there's somebody up there, there's, you know, I mean, we can set guidelines, I would think, but, you know, there's also the whole freedom of speech thing, right? So, and while I don't disagree with your statements about defamation, et cetera, it's just, we have to, I don't want to say tread lightly, but tread appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, personal attacks is no place for that.
There's no place for
At
that,
all.
that's correct.
Absolutely
That's
none.
disrespectful, right.
Right.
So,
And so how do we,
I don't know.
in being able to, is it is it your responsibility as the chair to control that? Or at any time?
I think anybody from the board can interject at any time.
And-
To me, yeah. You know, because again, the chair is to facilitate the meeting, right? So-
Right.
So I would think if a board member felt we were getting out of line, I'll say, it would be, you know, Chair, I don't believe this is appropriate. You know,
Yeah.
I request that this be, you know.
So
stopped or
on
whatever.
occasion, we agree that it may or may not be an appropriate topic for us to respond to public comment.
Mhm.
If we're not responding to the public comment, but you will you will welcome comment to say, stop talking.
Oh, yeah, because that's a board decision to stop it, right?
Right. But we are engaging at that point, technically, we're engaging by taking that action opposed to
Well, I think that's
the
different
the
than-
literal interpretation
But
of,
it's different.
I think it's different to the point of it's called public comment, and if we exchange, then to me, it either rolls back to conversation or debate.
Yeah, and that's not.
And
Purpose of it.
that's not what I would be interpreting as if you said, hey, I don't believe this is appropriate for tonight, that would be different.
okay,
You know, if you were to respond with facts and data, et cetera, that's, to me, that's conversing. But to actually just shut it down I think that's I don't wanna say it's a privileged motion, but it's what this board can do, I think.
Yeah.
okay. Lastly, a consideration in how our agenda is set up. We open our meetings with public comment. Okay? We haven't done any business as of that moment in time for people to comment on.
Okay.
So,
Would you like to move it further down, like before the manifest?
I believe it would be a more appropriate place.
Okay.
Because then, if we are going to create some guidelines in which they comment on, then we
They would at
would,
least have the conversation, the meeting behind them.
exactly. So,
I know it's not a place to talk, but I have seen it done both places.
Yeah, and we used to do it in two places as well. We used to allow it twice. We had two. We had one in the beginning, one at the end.
yeah.
And we went back to the one.
But I personally feel that where it's currently positioned on our agenda, it is almost like we're inviting to open mic.
And also to the backside too, right? To the past, not what we're at hand.
Exactly. They're not interested in anything that we're doing, and that, they could care less
You know,
what's happening.
What we used to do though is, if I remember correctly, Nan, we used to put the second public comment, but basically just before adjournment, right? So, to me, that was, it was way at the end, but I'm thinking maybe if we put it before that boilerplate of manifest, administrator's report, et cetera, then at least the town business be done.
And we will
Right.
have performed the business that someone may or may not want to comment on.
We can try it.
We can try it.
I don't see why we can't try it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
good.
worth the move. Yeah.
All right, adds clarification, and again, I think the board as a whole would say, we missed our chance. in the last
I would
couple
agree.
days.
I think we did disservice to some of the named individuals that were named.
Yeah, and our apologies.
Yep.
Okay,
That it?
that's all I have for tonight.
I think the board or the town or whatever we gotta do, we need to adopt a license policy. By that I mean, a valid driver's license is required for the position being applied for.
How can you do that when you have Parks and Recs that are working under 15 years old? You can hire a 15-year-old that doesn't have a license.
If they're that age, it's fine. But if they're underage, I understand that, but we've got into situations where
let's turn that around a little bit more narrowed. You need to have license, the proper classification of license what you're driving.
Oh, something.
I know where you're going with that, but
Yeah.
I think to blanket it like that, it's too, you know, because, not for nothing, the person that works at the library won't need a license, right? They could get a ride back and forth, they don't need a license, and they're an employee of the town,
Oh,
right?
Yeah, I think it should be
So I think,
specific
I think it's specific to the point
to the
of,
job description.
well, not only that, but if there's a piece of equipment that you're gonna run in your hours
You need a license to operate that piece of equipment.
with proper endorsement,
Yes,
yes, there you go.
that's what I'm getting at.
There you go, right. I think that's easy to change, to put in there.
I think we need to get that and get it going
Yeah, that's fine,
soon.
that's fine.
But we write that, couldn't we handle that in the job description? So that would be a condition of the hire. So you have to, just like you have to meet certain criteria. You
Well,
have to be
yeah,
able, I mean, you
yeah.
can't, if you're, you know, if you can't lift 30 pounds and we're giving you a job,
It
you know,
requires you to lift to 50.
yeah.
Yeah, that-
You know, that, it's just a requirement of the job. So
Right.
that position requires you to have, you know, a type of license, right?
Yes.
But I think that opens a broader topic, and I think you can, do we have SJDs? I don't think we do. Suggested job descriptions, standard job descriptions?
We've got a few that we've updated, but not all.
Correct.
Some are still on the old IBM Selected,
Ugh.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Some we have updated.
So my point is, you know, if we're gonna hire, maintenance for here, and that 50 pounds is in that job description, right?
Right.
There's no debating, you need to be able to lift 50 pounds. There you
Right.
go. Here's the job description for said position, right? We don't have that. Like she just said, it's on the old typewriter stuff,
Yeah.
you know, so I think that's a.
Everybody had to lift 50 pounds. The old one was just a standard,
It was a boilerplate.
yeah. The administrative assistant had to lift 50 pounds.
So,
It was honestly,
just a thought
That's what
that
people-
would
that's
go
what
along with that.
people
It's-
really don't
It's
like.
opening an umbrella, it's opening
Yeah.
up, and I think it's valid, but
We
it
gotta
just,
do something.
my thought is that's something moving forward that we probably
Well,
should think
Yeah.
about.
I think that number one priority is, and we need to get job descriptions for every position in the town.
Yeah,
And
Well,
we
absolutely.
we need actually a list of employees. These are the jobs, these are the people we do employ, then a job description, and then a rate for that position.
which I think would clear up your
Yeah.
comment.
Absolutely. Yep.
We'll, can talk about that.
Well, I think get through budget season, and then
Yeah.
we'll have to have,
Yeah.
I think we should probably have some work sessions on that, right?
Yeah,
Well, give us something to do in February. Have to
Yeah.
do a British session, because we're
but
pretty well
it was,
dead.
I mean, it was to that point, John, even though we may or may not have known of that potential hire that we discussed earlier tonight, we asked that question.
That was one of the first questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's very important that we ask that question, and in the future, if the answer is no, then
Yeah.
we know where we are with that candidate,
Right, right.
right? Trying to,
Anything else?
I have
Yeah, we
nothing
gotta hire
else.
somebody.
Well, that's a little bit later.
Okay.
Other business, minutes, where are we at with minutes?
I gave her a set to start with. I mean, she just got upstairs last week.
Okay, we gotta get them done. The last set we approved was in November,
October.
October 26th.
but we approved them in November.
Okay.
So we are significantly behind, we are significantly in violation. It has to be the top priority.
Okay.
One of the top three priorities, to get something out, drafts or something,
Good.
so. I know we all combine together to do tax bills, but, I mean, this is, you know, we're breaking the law.
Point well taken.
We're breaking the law, so. But, all right, if we don't have anything else, I'll move to go into non-public under
Do
RSA.
the manifest?
We don't have a
No.
manifest. I didn't have one.
Huh.
We signed them, but I
You
didn't have a
signed them, but
manifest.
I think you authorized them last
We
week.
authorized them last week.
Yeah, we're on, our schedule's messed up.
Yep, so, I'll move to go into non-public under RSA 91A3, Roman 02, A and C. There a second?
Yes.
Thank
Moved
you,
second,
Janice.
all in favor?
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Yes.
Door shut?
Yes,
Thank you.
please.
Not yet. I'm waiting for her to give me the green light. No pun intended, green light.